Welcome to the stream where I review tweets that age like wine, just like April is. My charges were dropped. I am not an addict. Someone else did this to me. Well, I got news for you, April. Charges are back on the menu, boys. Look at this. Now, this complaint may look a little bit similar because it's almost identical to the one that, the ones that was served to the Rekietas, Nick and Kayla. There is a little difference, though. A spicy little difference that is actually quite significant. We're going to go through this. We're going to have a little look at the conspiracy theory that maybe Aaron is a snitch who told on April to get out of any culpability. We've also got Alex Stein finally getting Vic Mignogna to comment on the Rekieta case. And then we've got some Bible splaining. This is some weird shit. Like, I don't know. I'm getting massive cope and also cult vibes from these videos. All this tonight and more, perhaps. Well, who knows? Who knows? But first, big thanks to Winter Soldier, who rejoined as a member. Much appreciated. Also, be sure to hit that like button, as that does help out the old stream. We got looks like a lot of people watching so far. Let's see if we can get this over 100 likes. That is where YouTube really helps you out in the algorithm. All right. So where should we begin? Let us begin with this Aaron segment. This was clipped by Alyssa, who I think she has a GoFundMe still going on because her channel was demonetized. So if you want to help her out, go over and help her out. Let's see. This is from the Steel Toe Morning Show. April's felony drug charge, dated July 23rd, 2024. I'm listening to all these clips on 1.25 because I need to get through this. Okay, we need to get through this. We've all got things to do and places to be. All right. Be sure to tell me that I am muted if I am muted. But don't lie. Don't be a big lying. Let's have a look. Also, welcome to Flux, who's a new member. Much appreciated, Flux. Be sure to be on the stream one day in the future if you're not working, which is when you're always working.
Posted another document on Kiwi Farms. It says MN Public Records just posted another document on Kiwi Farms.
Isn't that just like the best line to start your day with? Minnesota Public Records has a matter of public interest to talk about. It just seems to disrail everything and it gets the day going for me, but everyone else in the Rekietaverse, in the Baldo bunker, it's the worst possible thing. No, I'm pretty sure this isn't muted because I can see the little icon that says it's not muted, so it should be fine and dandy.
Oh Jesus Christ!
What do we have? Did Nick try to go live again?
What did he do now? MN Public Records.
What
Why?
happened?
Just
Tragic,
piling on.
yes.
What happened?
Interesting new matter of public record. The timing.
Yeah, that's the line. Interesting new matter of public record. Yes, it is. We're waiting every day and night for those new matters of public record. God bless you, whoever you are, Public Records. We appreciate you. You are the hero. Maybe not the one that we deserve, but the one we need.
Curious. Anyone else wonder if perhaps showing off that culty 3 wolves tattoo with the shirt swapping throuple on CCO didn't inspire much?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that as well. We're going to talk about what Rekieta's been doing when he's so busy. Now, of course, if you're on the Friday stream, you would have seen that already. But the Friday streams do go members only after I do them because, well, Max can't stop saying the banned words, so I have to remove them from public view. But we will go over the tattoos, and let's see Max Mura, the perpetrator, right in chat right there.
County
What is this
about whether the
thing?
live-in nanny at the technically separate address would be a positive or negative influence on the household, such that forcing her to piss in a cup throughout pretrial release and post-conviction probation would be a way to lessen the odds of the parents going into relapse. Wait, what? Or could it simply be that
Aaron's reading things like I read things? Like it's barely understandable at this point. Come on now, Aaron. Do a little bit better than this. You're a professional, apparently.
Nick's prove its mind defense naturally would leave the state no choice but to charge all 3. So that process of elimination would leave at least someone on the hook with all the potential for backstabbing that this prisoner's dilemma now presents. Or is this charge popping up now because the snitching on April has already been... They charged April.
Snitching on April. Now I ask you, who do you think would be snitching on April? Is there one person in this wife swap game that might be a little bit nervous now? Someone that's on the witness list? You can vote, of course, in chat. Looks like 74% say that Aaron has been snitching on April. I think that is probably the most realistic. Also, Xkuma says, finally hit 15K and you didn't even have to buy any fakes ones. No, I can't even afford fake subs. But thank you very much for the 50 Norwegian dollar dues. Much appreciated.
What?
We'll go back this way.
I can't fucking see these. State of Minnesota versus April Diane Imholte.
Let's
What's the
XY
date
for
on this?
Can you
context
find
if
a
anyone
date
doesn't
on
know.
this?
Dude, go back in.
Let's say 7/23/24. It looks like up in the top right.
Dude, I think it does.
What the fuck? Count 1, drugs, 5th-degree possession schedule, not small amount marijuana.
We'll go through the
Charge
we'll go through the whole
description.
documents after this. By
So
the
she's
way,
Not
charged
small
with 5th.
amount?
She's charged with 5th degree. I can't read these. They're so fucking tiny.
It's fuzzy.
Oh,
It's
so
like-
there's actually there's something interesting here that we've found out. Minnesota has like a weird thing where if you search for someone's name and they're not currently convicted of the crime, it doesn't really show up in the public records. However, you search for the case number, you can find it. So now that people know the case number, they can search for it every day to check out if new documents are coming up. This is a little bit confusing. Apparently, it's just something that Minnesota does. I guess it's part of the innocent until proven guilty. But it's a little bit weird. But every state does do things a bit different. So this is the one that they're talking about. But the problem is they're looking at the copy. They're looking at the copy from the Kiwi Farms, which is the ones that are posted by Minnesota Public Records are usually like scans or like screenshots or something. They're very difficult to read, and we've had that trouble in the past. Once you have the case number or the file number, or court file number, I guess this one here, you can search for it and get a nice crisp copy that is very easy to read, like this one, which is really going to help us going forward. So I'm much appreciated to have figured out that little tidbit, little nugget of Minnesota peculiarity.
like blurry too. There's a
It definitely says 7/23/24.
So they're just having some difficulty reading this document.
So April has been charged with a felony.
oof.
Wow.
How's it going, Sam?
Again, you had your chance to just flee.
Count 1. Looks like there's only one count. Wow.
Yeah, it looks like.
Oh, and then it says here, Nick Rekieta informed Child Protection that Imholte is their live-in nanny. Good job, sweetheart. Good job, honey. Uh-oh, somebody's about to be crossed off the wolves tattoo.
So the wolf tattoo, I guess we'll go into it. I'll show the tattoo, I suppose. I'll show the tattoo for context. Let's have a look. So the tattoo is this one here. If you can see that. That's not a very good quality though, is it? Hold on a second. We'll open up the video for this one. Here it is. Okay. So the tattoo shows up right here. So April got over the weekend a 3-wolf moon tattoo. And people have suggested that the 2 wolves are Kayla and April, and the big alpha dog is Nick, and I guess the moon is the drugs that they crave. We'll watch this in a second as we get through it. But this is what the tattoo that they're referring to. Very funny chain of events, basically. But I do know this from a little bit of a back channels, and I won't mention who. But Rekieta was actually promised to go on somebody's stream and help him out. Be a nice guy. He blew them off. He blew them off completely so he could go to a tattoo festival with his 2 mistresses. I guess one of them is his wife, technically. I mean, in name only, I suppose. Because what does it really mean to be married if you're just swinging with every available couple? And there is some evidence, actually, that there is more swinging on the table for the Rekietas. It's not just a throuple. It could even be more than that. We'll go through that when it comes to it, though. So very despicable, actually. I find that very despicable. But instead of streaming about, the news, the Trump trial, the Baldwin trial, just go get some more tattoos in Minnesota. What's the worst that could happen? Let's get back to this steel toe clip.
Remember Nick was cocking off to Keanu like, you better remember the reason why she isn't facing any charges. Good job, stupid.
Yep. It wasn't me.
Good job, buddy. Wow. I guess I can say it now.
All right. This is going to be important. So listen to this, chat.
I was told.
Yeah.
By very credible sources.
Yeah.
I won't say who. But I was told by very credible sources a long time ago, I've been sitting on this for a while, that April was going to be charged.
Yeah.
Who could that be? Who could be a credible source that could tell him that April is about to be charged? The only person this could be is someone with, well, the lawyer could have suggested it, I suppose, but that's not necessarily a credible source. That's just an educated guess. The only credible source for this would be a charging officer, an officer of the court. Who else could it be? Honestly, it's either one of two. In my mind, it's one of 2 things. Either Aaron is pretending he's like, oh, I knew this all along, like actual schoolyard. My dad works for Nintendo. I knew this was going to happen all along, but I couldn't tell you because it was too secret. I was an NDA. So either he's just making shit up, so he thinks that he's more important, or B, he snitched to the cops to save his own ass, which wouldn't surprise me at all. What do you think it is? Do you think it's one or two? One, he's making this all up that he knew it along, or two, which is the only other reasonable thing that I would imagine, right, is that the cops told him, hey, look, if you tell us everything, you're off the hook and we'll charge April, or April's probably going to get charged. You're the only one that's going to get free of these drug charges. It's got to be two, I think. I think it's got to be two.
So every time, you know, that's why, like, when those two turned, I'm like, you guys are fucking retarded. Like, if you're buying this shit, you're a dummy. And a lot of other people, you know, I had to hold that one under my hat. I had to be a good soldier. But yeah.
Good soldier for who? The cops? It's got to be, right? Like, good boy. You save your snake skin. Steel toe, Aaron boy. Another win for the toe bros. Aaron snitches on his ex-wife to get out of prison again.
I knew that she was. I'm actually surprised it was only 5th degree.
Is he angry? I heard that bitch was going down for 1st degree. I thought she was gonna, like, that's some. Did he do that out of spite? Was it all spite because he lost his wife to Rekieta? Oof, that's not good. Is Aaron a homosexual? Yes, absolutely.
August 28th is April's hearing date. Okay.
August 28th. August 28th. Write it down, lads. Write it down. All right, we're going to go through the document now for April's charging document. And I'll try and read the important parts, but obviously we've seen a lot of this before. But the important part I will focus on a little bit. This is so tax-free for us, chat. Yes, every super chat sent tonight is tax-free. I've been listening to that song. That's a good song by what's his name? Lipstick Larry. That's an actual banger. It's like stuck in my head. I'll see if I can read it. I'll see if I can play it on the stream. I'm not sure if I get copy struck for it, but I really do like that song. If we ever talk about Ralph, I'll play it for sure, though. All right, let's see. April Imholte, or as I'll refer her from now on, April Imholte. Complaint summons. Charges drugs in the 5th degree possesses schedule 1, 2, 3, 4, not small amount of marijuana. Felony. Minnesota statute. And then they have the number with reference. Maximum sentence of 5 years or a $10,000 fine or both. Offense level felony. On the date of the 5th. Oh, sorry, that's May actually. Sorry, this is American dates. Americans are weird where they put the month first. It doesn't make sense. Like middle, small, big. Why does it just go small, middle, large like every other country, right? So May 23rd, 2024. So that's the same date as the Rekieta arrest. Charge description: on or about May 23rd, 2024 in the county of Kandiyohi. I always say that wrong, so you can make fun of me in the chat. Minnesota. April Diane Imholte did possess one or more mixtures containing controlled substance, to wit, possessed more than 0.25 grams of cocaine. It's not my Kiwi accent. Let's see. Your complainant is a licensed peace officer employed in the county sheriff's office. In this capacity, your complaint believes the following to be true and correct. On May 23rd at approximately 9:13 a.m., a search warrant was executed at the Rekieta's house. Let me see. Nicholas Rekieta and Kayla Christine Rekieta reside at the residence. As a law enforcement approached this residence, Nick was traveling southbound on 51st Street in a vehicle. Rekieta was stopped. No, it's not that long, actually. Rekieta was stopped by a law enforcement officer. Upon knocking on the door, a juvenile female opened the door and wouldn't let them in. Very based, by the way. Just because they say that the cops don't necessarily let them in. Nick would not provide the door code to the residence. Law enforcement entered the home utilizing a door ram. Still waiting on that body cam footage. Hopefully it won't be too short. Too much longer, I should say. Upon entry, law enforcement located Kayla and April, and 4 juveniles were also in the home. That is the Rekieta children's, minus the one that was with Nick in the car. April and Kayla were located in the master bedroom. Officers noted the home was extremely cluttered. There were clothes everywhere, dirty dishes, dust, and an overall dirty home. Nick returned to the home with law enforcement. He demanded a copy of the search warrant. When given a copy, he looked at it and threw it on the ground. During the search, law enforcement located the following substances in the master bedroom: yellow snort tube, positive for coke; black vial of white substance inside, field tested for cocaine and weighed 2.2 grams. Credit cards listed to Imholte, or Imhotep as I like to say. The yellow snort tube and the black vial containing coke was found directly on top of her credit cards. a 22 caliber gun casing on the floor, I should say, of the nightstand in the master bedroom. And there was also a gun, Sig Sauer AR, with several magazines and loose ammunition, serial number, blah, 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 blah. There was also a glass container and metal filler with a filler and grinder and glass container that tested positive as well. And then there was also the dollar bill. And I think we've seen this before, so I'll try and cut this short. But did anyone detect the difference between the first documents? Imagine the smell? No, I will not imagine the smell. But can you imagine liking this stream? It'd be very much appreciated. Come on, guys. Oh, we got over 100 likes. Thank you very much. Can we get over 400? That'd be the new goal. Can we hit it? Can we hit it? All right. This is the differences between the two documents. Let me show you. All right. Let's see. This is the line that appeared in the first charging document. I'll make this a little bit larger for you. So in the Nick and Kayla's one, it says, upon entry, law enforcement located Kayla and April, and 4 juveniles were also in the home. Officers noted that it was extremely cluttered, and then they go to say the same thing. There were clothes everywhere, dirty dishes, dust, and overall dirty home. Very disappointing that the 16-year-old and other kids didn't just do some laundry, as Ethan Van Sciver has suggested. Now, if we look at the new document, now this is a little bit interesting to me. Upon entry to law enforcement, Kayla and April and 4 juniors were in the home. Kayla and April were located in the master bedroom. Interesting. So Kayla's job, allegedly, is to homeschool the younger kids that don't go to homeschool. But, and this is after 9 a.m., and maybe they set their own schedules. This means that Kayla and April were in the bedroom together, leaving the kids all alone, rather than say feeding them, rather than say cleaning up, rather than say educating them. And I would put it to you that they were probably just up there being lazy pieces of shit, probably smoking and watching Star Trek. I find this a little bit interesting. They are both just up there, probably sleeping, honestly. Like, what can you expect from them, honestly? That's not how this school co-op works. My understanding of the school co-op is that the older kids go to an actual school for like several classes, and the younger kids stay home and do some, just the mum teaches them. But I guess she just puts on the TV or something, but she's too lazy. They were eating in bed. Well, the kids weren't invited. I suppose they were the hungry ones. I'm not going to suggest that they're scissor sisters, but that is very funny. I'm just going to suggest that they're being very lazy together, probably high off their asses, while they should be tending to their responsibilities. That is the major difference in those two documents, though. But arrests, charges, summons, they're back on the table. Let me see if there's anything else interesting in this. There is the mysterious cocaine snooper, the $100 bill, and the mysterious brown substance that we still don't know what that is. Place your guesses. Alrighty, I think that is the extent of the document that is actually new. But what this means is that April is being summoned to court on August 28th. That is going to be the date of her first appearance. There is also, very funny, a Zoom link here with an ID and a login. So if you want to attend it live, I suppose you could. If you want to go find these documents, I'll try not to make it troublesome for them, but I think I speak for everyone when I say that we're very much looking forward to all the funny names that are going to log into that chat. I believe that is the same date or very close to the Rekieta and Mr. and Mrs., I should say. Looking for group, yeah, you can form your raid groups, but that's not a call to action or anything. If you want to do something silly, that's up to you. April's charged with the same thing. It's a little bit different. I believe that she's only being charged with a smaller amount. If I brought up the previous documents, we would see that. I thought that the Rekietas were under a first degree, wasn't it? I'm not sure. I think I have to check, but it's definitely slightly different because April doesn't have the child endangerment or neglect charges there, but it is back on the table. I'd assume that they'd probably try and get her to plea out and tell on the other two as well. It is funny though, because they couldn't keep their mouths shut despite always saying that they should do that. Nick just said that like April's a friend, and then Kayla said that she's there to live in nanny, and now she's just living with them again full time. but at the next door, like that they own. So maybe that's why they decided to bring this back on the table, because they thought like, oh, maybe she's just a friend they invited over. She's not really doing everything. Who can say, who can say? But when they found out, perhaps, that she's actually just living with them full time and is actually, well, basically part of the team, right? They decided to bring it back. Who can say, who can say? It all could be that Aaron snitched, but there is a lot of self-snitching in this case. All right, let's take a look at the, what is this? What is this? Yeah, I did see that. That's the same one I just went through. Okay. Let's take a look at this. This is very funny. So what happened here, and I've removed the music from this. I've removed the audio because it'd be copyright. But about what this would be over the weekend, last weekend, there was a Twin City Tattoo Festival. And this was a very small page with just 46 likes on Instagram. But we'll take a look. We'll take a look. Let's see what we see here. So you've got a bit of a stormy night. You've got those tattoos. Like, look at that. You've got this woman in bondage, finger in her mouth. Very, very sensual. Very good life decision to get this tattooed on your thigh. Let's take a look more. Zooms in. Very wonderful. There we go. We got some slideshows. Got some PowerPoints going on. Excellent. Oh, who's this? Who's that, chat? More storms. And as we go from the storms, there's a storm inside the show. Who is this? Who is this mysterious individual seeming to get a tattoo of a snake touched up? And then we zip to the Three Wolf Moon, and we're done. Just a mere 25 seconds on an Instagram story. Who could detect this? Who could possibly detect this? Well, apparently the internet has eyes everywhere. If we enhance the footage, we can clearly see that Rekieta has been spotted getting his tattoos done rather than, say, cleaning his house or visiting his kids. And who is this woman with you, you might ask? Well, that is none other than April. Now, that when these came out, to put the timeline in perspective, everyone was like, well, where's Kayla? Where's Kayla? Is he just going to the tattoo parlor by himself? Well, I guess the tattoo show by himself without his wife? She actually does show up in some of the photos. I'm not sure if I have the extra photo, but I don't have the photo of Kayla. But you might notice something interesting here. Okay, so you've got what's her name? April here. But then you also have April here, where she's showing off her tattoo. Now, there's something I noticed when I was watching this. There was something I noticed, actually, and I'm a bit of a noticer, as you will know. She has a different set of clothes. That's a bit funny. That's a bit weird. Now, I suppose when I saw this, I was like, well, I guess it must be a 2-day festival, and she just wears a different set of clothes on a different day. Unfortunately, I don't have the Kayla picture on me right now, but in the picture that has Kayla is wearing this exact clothes. So either they went both days and then switched outfits, or they went on one day and then they still switched outfits when they assumed they went to the bathroom to get into some sort of orgy or some other activity. But these two women just did switch clothes. That is a fact. That is an actual fact. And also some people have suggested that April's a bit rough here. It looks like the bridge is starting to collapse. Perhaps too much powdered donuts could be responsible. Maybe she's just getting older. Who can say? Who can say? You be your own judge. But I did find that very interesting that they just happen to be sharing. I mean, if they're sister wives, why not? Sisters share everything. You may as well share clothes too. We don't need those photos anymore. And I don't think we need this video anymore. She's haggard. Oh my, it's a rough 29. Yeah. 2 sessions. I would assume it's 2 sessions. But if it's 2 sessions at the tattoo parlor, that means they didn't actually wear clean clothes the next day, and they just decided to share each other's clothes, because these are the exact same clothes. I mean, not obviously these are 2 different sets of clothes, but they were wearing the exact same set of clothes over 2 days. So 2 days, 1 set of clothes, but 2 different women wearing them. Imagine the smell. Imagine the smell. Is it just bad lighting? It could be. It could be. It could be. Come on. She doesn't look 49. She doesn't look that bad. She's not that bad. It is a bit of a rough 29 with these crow's feet coming in. Even on this very blurred photo, these are showing up very easily. And I'm not one to judge, I suppose. They don't do, yeah, that's true. They don't do laundry at all. That makes perfect sense. That actually does make perfect sense when you think about it. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Alrighty, let us jump into, I think we'll go into the Alex Stein stuff, and then we'll go into the Bible splaining. And the Bible splaining is some wild shit. You're about to hear some wild shit about Jesus. This is interesting because these two clips are separated by 5 years. So you can see what chaos does to a man's complexion. And so remember this. Remember the old Nick. I miss the old Nick. It is true. All right, let's see what Alex Stein has to say. And again, we'll watch this at 2.25 speed.
I wanted to remember to bring it up, and I said it to you.
I think I'll just skip a little bit forward because I think he doesn't stop talking about Nick until a few seconds in.
A free society.
Keep talking.
Okay, I challenge all of you to take me seriously while he's sticking his head in eating.
Oh no, this is from the back part, I think.
If I eat ice cream.
Yeah, have a hat. Have a hat. Good. My head hurts, yo.
I don't know. Alex Stein's eating ice cream. Good on him.
You guys, everyone runs around going, I'm free to do this, and it's my right to do this, and I got freedom, I'm free to do this. Well, a free society can never, ever be sustained if people are not personally moral. If an individual doesn't have any foundational sense of right or wrong or morals or his neighbor, fellow people
Yeah, I
around
can't
him.
judge people's shoes. I've got.
You know, I mean, a perfect example is like gun laws. If all of us in this studio are law-abiding citizens and we're conscientious of our
Oh, those are pretty wild shoes. Holy shit! Did he steal these from the Wicked Witch of the West? Like you could actually just like bang your heels together 3 times and wish you were home and it would just teleport you there. That is actually wild. I didn't see that the first time.
Our fellow man, and we're not hateful, we're not vengeful, we're, you know what I mean? We're not self-absorbed.
Wild shoes.
Why would we be afraid if everyone had a weapon to protect themselves? It's the fact that there are people out there that abuse their freedoms and do all kinds.
When's the Rekieta part start?
I have to get a soundbite.
All right, here it is. So Vic is friends with Alex Stein, apparently, and he was going to come on to his show previously, and he wanted to talk about Nick. That's what Alex wants to talk to. And Nick really doesn't like Alex, apparently. And for a little backstory, Vic Mignogno is a voice actor for he was a voice actor for Funimation, and he got cancelled. He was one of the early cancel stories, and he had a lawsuit for defamation against Monica Rial, Ron Toye, and I think Funimation as a generality. Oh no, it wasn't against Ron Toye. Ron Toye was just their forever fiance, although he might be married now. It was against Jamie Marshy, Funimation, and Monica Rial. And Nick decided to start the GoFundMe. Nick kicks back, and then he hooked him up with Ty Beard, Ty Beard being the family's estate lawyer, who is a contract lawyer and has no experience in defamation. Now, it is true if you pass the bar, hypothetically, you can do any law that you want. Typically, you'll find someone that's a specialist because there is so much laws, it's really, really difficult to get everything done right. So it goes on for a long time. There's a lot of memes. Everyone's pretty much on Nick's and Ty's side at this time. There's a lot of funny ones that are aged very badly, like "Damn it, Nick, we lost the case again," which has now become "Damn it, Nick, we lost the kids again." But basically, Ty tries to do a lot of sneaky stuff and lazy stuff. Like he tries to notarize things over the phone. He tries to do these late filings. He doesn't really focus much on the case. And basically, now Vic's on the hook for about $600,000. So that's what that is. All right. But anyway, he's been trying to get a soundbite out of Vic for the longest time, and now he's going to try and get it, and we'll see what happens.
And I know you're going to give a professional answer. Your very good friend has gotten in a lot of trouble, Nick Rekieta. Got arrested with guns, got arrested. And I'm on Nick's side in a lot of this. I think Nick's a good guy. Everybody's been wanting your statement on the Nick thing. And we don't have to elaborate. We don't have to spend the whole show on it. But I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts, Vic? Because what you just said, freedom, guns, this is what he's going through. And I know he's your friend. I know. And this is my thing. A lot of people on the internet are like, you should throw Nick under the bus. But a real friend stays with you when you're going through tough times.
Well, but a real friend doesn't condone bad behavior either.
Okay.
Now, I would... I'm not sure about this statement. A real friend doesn't condone bad behavior. I disagree. I think a good friend condones bad behavior, but in private, right? Like, I can't blame anyone that is going to say, look, I don't have a public statement about Nick. I just don't want to talk about it. End of story. And then in private, they're saying, look, man, you fucked up. You've got to deal with it. That's what a real friend does, in my opinion. Sure. Stick with your friends until it's like, it's done its day in court and everything. Don't disparage them in public. But yeah, in private, you should be, telling them to pull up, because that's what a friend does. So I would just add that little bit of a caveat to Vic's statement. I assume that's what he's saying here.
Right? Here's all I want to say about that.
We have to get a soundbite from
okay,
you because everybody wants to know.
Well, yeah. When that picture was taken, I had no knowledge of anything that was going on in his private life at his.
All right, but first of all, this is actually kind of funny from Vic because he's like, "Whoa, look, I don't know any of this shit." Okay, like Nick's, Nick, I wasn't a part of this. Like, don't. This is real bad for Vic because Vic's gone through enough already, and he doesn't want to be lugged in with this as well, which is fair enough. And actually, to this day, I think if you go to Rekieta's YouTube page, his pinned video, the first video that everyone sees when they go to his channel, is his interview with Vic Mignogna. So he may want to remove that. Hello there, new peepsels. Be sure to like the stream, much appreciated. Almost 700 people watching, much appreciated, guys. I know you like these streams.
And this is at Anime Matsuri,
Yeah,
where
that
you're
was
going.
actually, honestly, that was like 4 years ago.
And you're going back to Anime Matsuri in 2 weeks. Yeah, it's the
I'm
biggest.
looking very forward to it. Next to Anime Expo, it's the biggest. It's the second largest anime convention in the country, over 60,000.
That's how you became friends with Nick, right? Because you go to
No. In fact, Anime Matsuri invited Nick to come to Matsuri precisely because of his support for me.
Yeah, they had the For the Fans panel. They started doing this thing where they started inviting YouTubers to anime conventions. Now, if it's like a big guy like Meat Canyon or Critical Drinker, sure, but I don't think there's going to be any YouTube panels for the regular crowd this year. It didn't do as well. There wasn't as much public support for Nick after all the stuff with Vic went down. But at this time, everyone was behind him. Everyone was supporting him. He was like, yes, someone's finally standing up. Someone's kicking back. Someone is saying the real talk, that it's for the fans, not for you, in regards to these anime conventions where, because the voice actors would go there to sign and make all their money and shit. And they're trying to exclude people from these groups by canceling them.
Oh, wow.
Because he had built a big audience in his support of me and following the events that were
In a
going
way,
on.
you could say that he made his audience off your back.
I'm not going to go
He's
there.
a talented guy. I'm just saying you helped give him a little.
I mean, Nick, I wouldn't necessarily say that Nick built his audience off of Vic, but he definitely got his first boost. That's true. There is these certain boosts that and this happens in every YouTuber's career, right? But the first big one, like if you want to really chronicle the entire series of events, it was like the Maddox case, then it was Tonkasaw, then it was, I guess, Russell Greer, and then Vic. Then there was the real big growth spurt, which happened after that. Was like Vic was a big growth spurt. Then there was Rittenhouse and Johnny Depp. Those are the top three, though. I'm not sure it's fair to say he built his career off of Vic's career, but he certainly garnered a lot of sympathy in the anime sector, which is actually a very good sector to have on your side because they have a big disposable income, which some would argue that Nick may have exploited with his grift, and because he was portraying himself as a very different person. Now the question is, was it all act all along, or did he change? I don't know. You'd have to judge that for yourself. Depp was obviously, I guess Depp would have been the biggest one? I think the biggest growth spurt had to be Rittenhouse because at that point, Nick's streams were doing bigger than every other, like bigger than Law and Crime and bigger than everyone that had like the special privileges in YouTube. Johnny Depp was definitely big, but I think it wasn't as big as Rittenhouse.
I'm going to say about it. I had no idea, and I was very, very disheartened and saddened to hear about those events, and I'm praying for him. I want the best for him and his wife and his kids. And I have not talked to him or seen him in a very long time.
Well, I texted with him a little. You haven't texted with him a little bit? He's being very open and texting. Him and I had a nice conversation.
No.
You guys hadn't had any?
I doubt that. I really doubt that.
It makes me kind of sad, Vic, because I know that you're such a nice guy, and I know it probably hurts you seeing somebody you care about going through this. And we want the best for Nick. Whether people like Nick or not, Nick's a father. I want him to come out of this stronger, and I think he can. I think
Yeah, we can only hope that Nick, like everyone else, learns from mistakes they make as they move forward. They glean some lessons from mistakes, and they incorporate them.
Is he going to learn from his mistakes? It seems very much so that he is saying that it's not true, that what you think you know about him is a lie. It's all a fantasy. It's a government conspiracy. The first part in changing is admitting that you made a mistake, and that doesn't seem to be the case. Now, maybe that's his legal strategy. Maybe he has to do that. That could be an argument, sure. Not so convinced though that he's on the path to redemption based on what I've seen.
Into making better choices in the future. I mean, I would want that for me. I would want that for you. I certainly want that for Nick and his wife. And I'm just sorry.
You know Kayla very well?
I've only
That's a loaded question. That's a very loaded question. I don't think that Vic knows Kayla very well because never mind. I won't say it. But you know what I'm thinking.
I've only interacted with her when they came to these events.
Do you think that she would find it weird? And we're going to drop it after this.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about
I know
it.
this is the last question. Show April. Do you think Kayla cares that he has? He has a girlfriend now, though. He's in a throuple.
No, I don't know about any of that.
Well, this is his new girlfriend.
I don't know about any of that.
Vic's so uncomfortable here. I feel bad for him, honestly. This is a bit of an ambush. For him. Oh dear. Actually, we can compare the photos now. Let's see if we have bridge collapsed. You can be the judge. This is the charging document or charging photo. This is her from the tattoo convention. Do you think that his nose changed? Not that one. This one. Could be lighting. Could be a bad photo. Who can say?
My interactions with him were very limited, and like I said,
Everybody speaks highly
wish-
of Nick. That
I wish the best. I wish healing.
Mhm.
I pray for healing, and that things will get worked out, and that he and Kayla will come out of this stronger and better than before. And I don't, like I said, I don't know anything about it. I just know, I don't know any more than you guys do.
And we'll forget talking about that, but one person we do need to make fun of, a person I actually like, show me on camera. So that was April. We got to make fun of Joe, Aaron Imholte. He was talking negative about you, and that's not okay with me. That's Steel Toe, that guy.
Was Aaron talking bad about Vic Mignogna? I think the actual quote here is that I think someone asked Aaron, it may have been on Kino Casino. It's like, did Nick ever mention Vic Mignogna? And I think there was one time Aaron said that Nick mentioned him and he said he was a fag or something like that. I'm not entirely sure on that one. That one could just be my own memory playing tricks on me. Uncivil, the charging documents on the farms, if you want to see it. Here it is. Charge document, 5th degree drug possession, schedule 1, 2, 3, 4, not small amount of marijuana felony. There you go. We read that. That was the beginning of the stream. You want to go back? You can go back if you want to go through that. That is the beginning part of the stream. Let's continue.
I have no idea who that is.
Well, I think he said that, whatever. I mean, I guess he didn't speak highly of you. And I don't
Clearly because of all the time he spent with me.
Exactly right.
Right? I mean,
and I like Aaron. I think Aaron's a good guy.
Obviously, he knows what he's talking about.
But Aaron admits that they were doing all kinds of barbiturates and all kinds of, allegedly doing all kinds of stuff. And I guess I just wanted to give you a chance to just set the record straight because people wanted to hear your side.
It's kind of funny though. Vic's like, I have no idea who this guy is. Yeah, nobody knows who Aaron is besides his. It's like the only reason anybody knows who Aaron is because he got his dick in Nick's wife. That's his greatest accomplishment.
Of this.
Well, I think some people want to drag me into things that are none of my business. And what
I have to say though, I actually do like Vic's being very consistent on his I don't want to get pulled into this take. Now, is he doing that for himself? Who can say? But I actually do appreciate Vic's take here.
On in Nick's private life and in his world and with his wife and family and all of that, I have nothing to do with that. I had no knowledge of any of it and I had nothing to do with it. So when somebody wants my opinion, I'm like, I have no opinion because I don't know about anything. I like you or like anybody else. I want the best for him, and I hope that God brings he and his wife through this.
Last question. We're not going to talk about any more after this. Netflix is inevitably going to make a documentary about Nick Rekieta for sure. I have a feeling that it's a very salacious story. I know that looks to me crazy, but he's one of the biggest streamers ever. He gets in trouble, so now well,
that's a bit of a stretch. He had like a very large stream, 100,000 people. Obviously, is a very large stream. Biggest streamer ever is a big stretch of imagination. I mean, XQC has hundreds of thousands on the regular. But I'm not going to pretend that Nick didn't have a fantastically large career before him until he threw it all down the toilet. Now, will there be a Netflix documentary? I'm not sure. There's already a bunch of YouTube commentary, the rise and fall sort of videos. They're not complete though yet. Like, maybe even I'll put one together. Who can say? But I want to wait to see how the story ends, because every great story needs a great ending. And is it going to be a happy ending? Is it going to be a sad ending? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. We might not have to wait too long because it is taking place in August, I believe. Or at least it's beginning to take place then.
Court case is going to get streamed by people. I mean, I'm not saying Netflix can do it, but somebody's going to do a big documentary. You're going to be a part of that. If a major production company came up to you and said, Vic, we want to get your statement.
There's ice cream on the table. They're just like snacking on ice cream all day. What a decadent show. How come my show doesn't have ice cream? I guess I could go buy some if I really wanted to, but that's an interesting.
Would you participate in something like that?
My statement would be what I just stated.
That's all you would say.
Very
Biggest
short
law
statement.
streamer? No,
I
wouldn't
know.
that be
And
Emily
Vic has only
DeBaker?
spoken highly. I just want to say Vic has only ever spoken highly of Nick. Vic's been very professional. You've never heard you say one negative thing about him.
My interactions with him have always been good, but to be honest, they ended quite a while back. And occasionally there might be a quick text, but recently, not at all.
Well, Nick, me and Vic are rooting for you. We want you to get the help that you need or whatever you need. And I'm sure Vic.
You know what? I'm gonna say a prayer. Let's say a
pray.
prayer.
Let's say a
I'm gonna say
prayer.
a prayer.
All right, I'm not gonna watch the prayer because I've got my own religious doses right here. Bible splaining, the internet. Jesus was just a guy. Oh wait, I gotta set these Rekieta streams. You got to set them onto subscribers only, but only for 1 minute. So if you want to unsubscribe after the stream, that's all up to you. But of course, I'm gonna set this to subscribers only. Be sure to like the stream while I do set that up. All of you freeloaders, now's your chance to make a difference. Subscribe. Much appreciated. This, of course, is From the Vault. From the Vault is a series from Alyssa Clips. I will give a shout out to her channel because she did the hard work on this one. Alyssa has been clipping the law tubers for quite a while. There's quite a lot of interesting stuff here. You might find it interesting. Go over and give us a love. Much appreciated. Like her videos as well. I'm going to like this. This is from April 1st. So I guess April Fool's 2020. Back during the early days. This might be maybe pre 100,000 subscribers. This is an interesting one, though. And it's going to lead into the second one that we've got, which is the locals stream, which is Bible study. The story of the prodigal son. Interesting pick. Now, I'm not going to pretend, before we get into this, I'm not going to pretend I have any extensive biblical knowledge. I know a little bit, right? I'm not a very religious guy, but I know a little bit. I went to Sunday school. I sat through church. Don't really go to church now. It's pretty hard to go to church in Japan. I actually don't. Well, that's actually, no, there's a church right across the road from me, but it's a Catholic church, and I'm not Catholic. All right, let's take a look at From the Vault. Bible splaining. Jesus was just a guy.
Yeah, the Bible was written by Jews. They were not trying to create a new religion. They were trying to steer other Jews into their belief system under the Jewish order, under Jewish law.
All right, I've got to make this larger at some points because the chat is great on this stream, by the way.
They believe that and this is how Midrash works, right? Now we're Bible explaining. This is how the Midrash works. It's a debate. They were contributing to the Jewish debate about what being a Jew properly was. Jews largely rejected this because, let's be honest now, for all of the televangelists out there talking about the Jesus predictions, literally none of the predictions about the Messiah match up with Jesus. Literally fucking none. If anybody out there comes out there and...
I mean, what were the predictions? That he was the son of God? What do you mean by that? Are you going to clarify these statements, Mr. Rekieta?
It comes to you and says, they predicted Jesus in Isaiah and Daniel and Jeremiah. No, they fucking didn't. No, they didn't. They predicted a Messiah. They predicted a warrior Messiah. They predicted someone who'd come in and overthrow the shackles of an oppressive government. And Jesus did literally fucking none of that.
Didn't he go into the temple and turn over the money tables and like that? I mean, those are the real oppressors, right? The money lenders. Am I right, guys? I mean, Jesus is just a guy. Come on.
He actually said, submit to your oppressors. He did the opposite. What the gospel's purpose and the following purpose of Acts and James actually did was they said, look, we know Jesus didn't say what you expected, but this is what was meant. And here's how it works. Okay. So they're trying to convince Jews, except for John and Luke. No, mostly Luke. Luke is trying to convince Gentiles, but mostly Matthew, Mark, and part of John is aimed at Jews to say, look, this follows in with the Jewish tradition. Luke is like, look, fuck the Jews. I got Gentiles here wanting in, and this Jesus guy says Gentiles get in, even though he didn't. Jesus was a racist. Make no mistake, Jesus is a flawed.
Jesus was a racist. Is that factually accurate? Can we get some fact checkers on this? Wait, so which? So when Jesus died on the cross to forgive anyone and everyone of their sins, which race was excluded? Wait, it's like, I'm going to die on the cross. You're also forgiven, except for you can fill in your own blanks there for whichever group you don't like. That's a pretty wild statement. That's pretty wild.
human, just like the rest of us. He's a racist.
He's a flawed human, just like the rest of us. Now, again, I'm not the man with all the biblical knowledge. I don't do a lot of Bible study myself. But isn't the entire point of Jesus is that he was the one man with no sin, that he was the Son of God? How could he be a regular guy like anyone else? Now, if you want to take that the Bible was written by men and that Jesus was just a guy, that's fine. But that's only fine if you're an atheist. There is no point to Jesus being an average. If you believe in God, there is no reason that you should believe that Jesus was just an average dude. Okay. Like if you want to be like some like, if you want to be like, well, Jesus was a real man factually, but he was a regular guy and we made a religion about him. If you want to say that, that's okay. But how can you say that you're religious, that you believe in God, that you believe that your sins were forgiven when he died on the cross, but he was just a regular guy? That makes no fucking sense. And like I said, I'm not like an expert on this, but this is the wildest religious take I've heard in a long time.
Just look at the story of the Samaritan woman.
Oh, I gotta start reading the chat. I'll see if I can pick up some good ones.
He calls her a fucking dog. That's not cute.
Wow, Jesus just got really based, actually.
Lots of televangelists and other prosperity preachers want to apologize for Jesus being a racist, but Jesus was a fucking racist. He's a human. He's like, look, female dog, right?
Yeah. Oh no. Oh.
You don't get
a little bit of misunderstanding of the Old Testament, but whatever.
You don't get to slurp up scraps from the master. You don't get to be fed from the master. A lot of people saying that. She's like, look, even I will lick up the cummies from the master's table. Jesus like, you know what? Good fucking point. Good fucking point. And he changes his reaction, but both Jesus and the disciples' initial reaction is racist. Because Jesus was a racist. He was a product of Jewish tradition at the time.
Oy vey.
Stop making Jesus more than he was. He's just a guy. He's a guy. He's a human. That's the best part of God, is that he comes down as a flawed fucking human.
Could someone actually correct the record for me? Because I'm not sure. I'm pretty certain that Jesus is described as the one man with no sin. Can somebody in the chat confirm this for me? I'm almost certain that is the case. Maybe I remember at one point he walks into the desert and like cries and yells at God, like, why me? Maybe that's a sin. I don't know, but I don't think so, right? Like he's just like sad about being crucified the next day or something. I'm pretty sure he's literally the one man without sin, like the one human without sin. He walked on fucking water. Oh, he's just a regular guy that walked on water and made wine and millions of fish. This is wild. What the fuck? He was tempted. Yeah, he was tempted and he turned down the temptation. He literally resisted. The devil showed up and tempted him with everything. And he said no. Isn't that the entire point of Jesus? I mean, apart from, obviously dying on the cross to forgive us all of our sins.
All this shit about Jesus not being sinful, of course he was sinful. Of course he was sinful. That means that we as sinners get to identify with God because we're flawed and we're broken. God damn it. Here you have me. I will Bible-splain the shit out of you if you ask me to. Jesus is not this vaunted, venerated figure just because he's God.
He's not. Jesus was not this vaunted. He was the Son of God. I can't believe it. This is an old clip, by the way. When do you hear the next? The next one is pretty wild. The next one is pretty wild. Pretty wild.
God is when God comes down as a human.
Everyone in chat is like, stop. Just stop.
He's a broke piece of shit, just like the rest of us. Oh, we're all racist. We're all problematic. We all do sins, just like Jesus did. And the Jews actually acknowledge that if you pay attention. You pay attention. Listen, Jesus disrespects his own goddamn mom at the dinner at Cana. Mary's like, hey, they're out of wine. They're out of liquor. Fix the liquor. And he's like, woman, you dumb bitch. I'm not ready for this. It's not my time yet. But he also respects his mom like a good boy. And he says, okay.
You just said that he didn't respect his mom.
Bring me water and I'm going to make it wine. I'm going to make it not only wine, I'm going to make it get you drunk as fuck.
Again, I'm not the biggest expert on biblical law, but I thought he only turned water into wine like one time, like when they were eating all the fish and everything, right? Did he actually turn water into wine just for his mum. I don't actually remember that, but like I said, it could have happened, I suppose. I just don't know. But that seems like a little bit. I'm pretty sure his mum wasn't just like, "Hey, Jesus, can I have a glass full of wine?" And he was like, "Zip." I'm not sure that's how it happened. I'm not sure that's how it happened. That his mum was just a little bit thirsty at the dinner table with Joseph in the stables or some shit. It was at a wedding. Thank you. Okay.
Because that's the best wine that's out there. Listen, if I'm going to come in the jars, it's going to be the good shit. Okay?
Huh?
This is Jesus. He's
little cheeky pony reference there.
As shit. He's just like you and me. Anybody who tries to put, God damn it, I've drank too much. Anybody who tries
That's an evergreen statement too.
To put Jesus on a pedestal above you is literally fucking wrong.
You go to church and there's literally Jesus on the cross. I mean, yeah, you don't create false idols, but he's Jesus. He's not a false idol. He's the Son of God. He's part of the Trinity. Come on now. Holy shit. Holy shit.
Jesus was without sin. No. Jesus was more than human. No.
He could walk on water. Jesus was not more than human. He literally, you just said he made water into wine. And he's not some special human. Okay.
Jesus is more than human. No. That's what makes it important. And that's what makes it matter, is that Jesus wasn't above us and he wasn't above our shitty pettiness. He's just a guy.
He was without sin. Oh my goodness. This is the best. This is From the Vault. This is the best episode of From the Vault. Holy shit. This is amazing.
The guy at the bar is Jesus. They tell us this over and over. Over and over. The guy that you encounter, the homeless guy, the bar guy, the racist guy, the shitty SJW, they're all literally Jesus. Same guy.
I mean,
that's right.
God is everywhere and everything, right? So maybe, but that's an interpretation of it, right?
You got to treat him as Jesus, because if you don't, you're an asshole that goes to hell or whatever. I don't actually believe that, but that's what they say.
If you don't believe it, why are you saying anything? Why are you talking about the Bible if you don't believe what you like? Is it just filibustering? Like, what's going on here?
It's the worst of us put into practice and shown that the worst of us isn't that bad. It isn't that bad. Anyway, this is not the story for Bible-splaining.
All right. Now let's go on to the most recent Bible-splaining. This clip will take us a while to get through, guys, but there's some nuggets in here. Trust me on this. This is the locals stream. Going to be a lot of pausing in this one, I think. If you are one of those people that just acted on the 2-month free subscription to locals for a year.
Hey guys.
Oh, no. Looking a bit rough. Also, this is a personal pet peeve of mine. Just get your frame rate sorted. That's why there's flickering in the background. I mean, it could be a fan, I suppose. It could be like a ceiling fan, but it's probably because his refresh rate on his lights is like at 60 hertz and he's shooting in 50 frames per second. Just set the camera to try setting it at 50. See if there's a flicker. If there's a flicker, then switch it to 60 and that'll fix it every time. Works every time. It's very annoying because in Japan, half the country is 60 and half the country is 50. So every time I travel too far, I have to reset it. And sometimes I get flicker in my video. Really don't like it. But this is the first local stream, I guess, of the week. He's been pretty busy though. He's got all those kids to look after.
How's it going? I hope you're doing adequate.
Is there a fucking crumb in his beard? Like, he says he's clean, but I don't know. Do you think he's on? Like, he feels like he's tweaking out a bit here.
Or something.
I have to do a new poll now that we're past the hour and seven.
Yeah. Here, we're gonna switch to supporters only, probably. I
mean, that's a pretty good idea. And like a lot of this conversation is very cultish. It's very funny though, because like the people that are still in the bunker, still serving the Baldo commander-in-chief, they were actually suggesting on his locals, like, can we get a private locals that only the most adamant supporters are in? Because they're tired of people criticizing them. Can we get an even more inclusive community where there is no negativity? It's probably a good idea to make this supporters only, honestly. Yes. Let's continue though. Let's see what we see.
this shape. Oh my God.
Holy shit, that's actually rough. That's rough. Look at that. Look at that shaggy beard. I didn't actually realize it was that bad. Getting close to the camera was a mistake. It's like bristly. You can imagine that like rubbing across your skin. Oh, you know, get that like itchy feeling.
Back? Are we back?
Also, Rumble is a shit website, and Locals runs off Rumble's infrastructure, so the video is just always cocking out and everything as well. But it's looking really rough. Looking pretty rough.
Dude, Locals. I don't know what the fuck happened. I really don't. But it is constantly just shitting the bed with video
Right.
lately.
You can vote if
I don't
Nick
know
sourced.
why. I don't know why. Just it looks like it's running to me, and then I just see a bunch of people be like, "Oh yeah, by the way."
Like the thing is, Nick started to look better. Looks like in the days after the arrest, he started to he started to fill out his face. He started to look like he was more lively, a bit more blood in the skin. This looks rough, man. This looks gaunt. I don't know. I think he might be back on.
The stream's down. So anyway, we should be back now. The good news is I hear the replay is actually stable. So
The absolute bare minimum of a website. What a piece of trash. Local/Rumble.
Yeah. In case you missed it, I've been kicked out of my house.
Is this new? Yeah, this is the live stream from 2-3 days ago. By the way, we almost hit the goal of 400 likes. We just need 60 people, 800 people watching. Can we hit it? If just a couple of you. If we get over 400 likes, YouTube pushes out in the other room. We get a bit of a boost. Much appreciated. These streams are free, but I appreciate all the support and the likes, the comments, the shares, and especially those donos if you feel so inclined.
Apartment building now. And it's not just a different angle of the room I'm always in when I do this. That would be weird. That'd be strange if I just like turned slightly. So that being said, does that shirt turn one color with 3D glasses? Yes, it also makes my nipples pop right into your eyeballs.
There's got to be like a Rekieta drinking game where you, well, I mean, I'm not drinking on stream until August. Rip for me. But I think we need to do a Rekieta drinking game where every time he mentions a sex joke or a gay joke, you take a sip. And trust me, by the end of that stream, you look just like Rekieta. You probably have lost your kids and your wife by the same time the stream ends as well, by the way.
So we're gonna read. I've been wanting to do this a little bit more often, but just we're gonna read a chapter of the Bible, short chapter, Luke 15, and
it's going to take a long time to read this, by the way. 47-minute stream. Short little part of the Bible.
Talk a little bit. I'm going to share some thoughts.
No, he's not really kicked out of the
with
house.
you.
It's just his kitchen, guys. Come on.
About it. That's all. I'm not a Bible teacher.
Then why are you doing a Bible stream? Like, what's the point? What's the point if you're not going to try and, maybe share your thoughts, educate people? If you're not really teaching, what is the point of this stream? It's just wanking off into the abyss, basically, because you want to feel a little bit better about yourself. Because again, it's the story of the prodigal son, the story of a man who, went out, partied, destroyed his life, then came back and was accepted by his father. Very relatable and very, very on point, I guess. But how does this relate to you as the viewer?
I'm not.
Why hasn't the body cam been dumped yet? It's because it's a government conspiracy. No, like the government, there's two theories on the body cam timeline. Sean, potentially criminal, great stream, did a little bit of an interview with, I believe it was a Minnesota public defender, and they said that body cam footage typically is not released until the trial date, as to not maybe prejudice the jury or something to that effect. But that actually contradicts the statements that the local county gave to Josh Moon, who's the person that paid for the body cam footage. They said they were just uploading it to a drive and then sending it across. It is going to be mailed to Josh's lawyer and then uploaded to the internet. So we're not really sure at the moment. It could be tomorrow. It could be in August. Very frustrating, I know, for everyone involved, because we all want to see the condition of the house and see if we can play Spot the Baldo on the kitchen floor. But we just don't know. It's the government's fault. And they don't have a time schedule. They just release it when they want to release it.
Like in charge of your Christianity or your development. I'm not here to guide you in any way or evangelize to you. I don't give a shit. Maybe it's bad of me. I think Jesus told me to do something else.
Interesting. Wait. We got to go back for a second. There's an interesting new detail that actually I just learned about today. Takes a sippy, little sipperoo of the
Not
Coke.
actually kicked out.
There's no way he's not drunk. I'm sorry. This is drunk behavior.
Everybody thinks that like they like have this idea of how life is going for me, and it's amazing to read.
Oh, I missed it.
Like,
Sorry. I'm gonna have to go back again. I missed the Coke can. You
maybe
see it
it's
briefly.
bad of me.
It's
I
very,
think
very
Jesus
subtle.
told me to do something else.
All right. There's an interesting little detail here. So we have 2 rings on the hand. One of them is a black ring on the first finger. Now, people have suggested that and you could be your own judge, right? That this is a swinger ring. Swinger rings. Apparently, this is a thing where you wear a black ring on your right hand to indicate that they are in the lifestyle. It's a mood ring. Then why is it black? Is that because he's black-pilled? It seems like this is a thing. Why do guys wear a black ring on their right hand? It could symbolize his marital status, especially for one of the traditional ring figure. Some choose a black ring for its durability and modern style, while others can be used as a symbol of commitment in a unique way. I don't know about that. Every other result is saying it's a swinger ring. Swingers are encouraged to put a ring on it. Swinger ring. I don't want to click on this Etsy because then I'm going to get like a bunch of shit suggested to me, right? The black ring recognized by swingers around the world. You can see there's like a little couple, like kind of looks like an Olympic iconography, right? With like the little people. The black this is a risky scroll, by the way. I should be careful. You can judge for yourself, though. I just thought this was an interesting detail that was pointed out to me just before the stream. I did not notice that, but there it is, right there. Because Nick typically had like a blue ring on his wedding finger, and that actually seemed like an interesting idea. Because a lot of people get degloved when they're like doing workouts. Now, Nick has never done a workout in his entire life, or at least not since he was in college. But hypothetically, he may go to the gym again one day in some alternate universe. And, it is dangerous to do weightlifting while you've got a metal ring on because you could possibly be degloved, which is the worst thing ever. So you can take your ring off and put it in your locker, but then, you're not supporting your wife. So you put on the plastic rubber ring to show that you're still married and committed to your wife, but also you can work out or do something physical. So we've all seen that ring, but these are 2 different rings. We have 2 metal rings. Well, actually, this one looks metal. This looks like a platinum ring, but then we have this black ring here. What could it be? I have to let the chat decide. You think Nick's lifting? No, that's what I'm saying. That's what's very strange about it. I mean, do men just start wearing rings as they get older? I'm not sure about that. I think this would suggest that they're on the prowl for more in his coven. He's building his own little witch cult or some shit. Witchy women. I don't know. Who could say?
K-Jab, it's a joke.
All right, let's continue.
Not actually kicked out.
That's a very funny joke. Look at that. Look at the way he reacts when he the slow reaction time. That's how. And I'm watching this at 1.25 speed. Let's go back and watch this at regular speed. Oh, wait, no, actually, this is actually at normal speed. Never mind. Now it's at 1.25 speed. All right, my bad there. But it was still pretty slow. Myra with 100 SEK, which I think is South Korean krona. Oh, no, sorry, Swedish krona. Thank you for covering Pastor Rekieta, known for his wisdom such as you can do whatever you want because Jesus took care of your sins. Yes, that is true. You can murder, grape, and steal because Jesus died on the cross for you.
Have this idea of how life is going for me, and it's amazing to read. Because it's like I'm kicked out of my house, getting divorced, never getting my kids back, all that stuff. It's like
one of those may be true. Now, he's not being kicked out of a house. We know that. It doesn't seem like he's being divorced. Although Kayla did get a new family attorney and one that does specialize in divorce law. But I mean, family law, a lot of that could be divorce as well. So there was a theory that there was a divorce on the window. Since Kayla showed up at the tattoo festival with April, and then they switched clothes, confirmed by the photographic pictorial evidence. I don't think that the divorce arc is not happening. I think they're just going to add as many sows to their little farm as they can, and see what they can get away with, because they do have 2 houses adjoining next to each other. They could have like the main house, and they could have the whore house, I guess. But the third one, not getting his kids back, I don't know if that cocaine test thing comes back. Then you never know.
All right, I guess. Really, like, kind of life just goes on, and you do.
Yeah, they switch clothes. So we talked about this back in the earlier stream. But so Nick was at a tattoo festival. You can see him getting touched up there. Also looking a bit. Looks like he can touch this up a bit, but never mind. I'm not really one to talk about that. April's sitting next to him in this white top, but then she is also pictured in this black dress later with her 3 wolf moons, which may represent their throuple. Now, in another photo, we don't know if this takes place over 2 days or 1 day, but there is another picture with Kayla, and she is wearing the white top, the very same white top, and they've just switched completely. So they're sharing clothes over 2 days, or they're sharing clothes over 1 day, which means they would have went to the bathroom, had a quickie, maybe a bit of a random grab bag, maybe a bit of glory hole action. Who knows? At the tattoo parlor, but that is confirmed. Anyone that says they're not swinging, why are these sister wives sharing clothes on 1 or 2 days? It makes no sense. Well, they just felt like a bit of a change up, bit of a what? Quick little flash. Try a little bit different. Who can say? There's a mystery. But let's see what we have here. Michael Hickson with a 20 says, "Holy shit, this has been an eye-opening stream. Mea culpa for all my previous cope. Thanks, meme. Totally embarrassed. No worries. I was coping for quite a while as well. It took a while. It took quite a while until, in fact, the arrest. I think I was coping. I kind of stopped watching like the last year because it wasn't really for me anymore. Maybe last year and a half or something. But then I was still like, well, maybe they could go to Jamaica, the swinger island, and not swing. It's possible someone could just go to the beach. I remember saying that, like, look, they could have just gone to the beach on hedonism too and not bang each other's wives or other people. That's possible, and it is possible. But let's be honest here. Let's be honest. We know what's going down now. It takes bravery to leave the Boulder bunker, but you did it, so appreciate it. Good for you.
What you have to do, each day, and then that's how it goes. There's not much else to say.
I did. I admitted to my cope.
You just do life.
I want to believe the best in people.
You have to do it at the speed of everybody else. Sometimes, in my case, of course, it's at the speed of government. But things are coming to a head at some point here, and you'll be watching. I mean, you or someone else will be, or someone else will help you watch it. But yeah. So in the meanwhile, something I've been wanting to do for a bit is just read the Bible. And ignore your pastor.
I mean, I think he's doing a pretty good job ignoring his pastor. If I had to guess, I've heard that they had to switch churches because they brought a lot of attention to their little community. And obviously, if the church told the police, you probably wouldn't want to go back there. But why would you even bother switching churches? Because Nick allegedly could not even get through an entire service. He has to go out because he's tweaking too much and needs to get a quick fix to even get through the boring lectures. This is from the church themselves. They said that he would constantly leave the service. What is a church service? Is 2 hours or something? That's what I remember as a kid. He had to leave multiple times to go outside for a bit of booger sugar or something to keep it interesting, at least allegedly.
Sort of garbage that comes out of pastors' mouth. Not all pastors, right? # not all pastors. You ignore whatever their method or not method, whatever their message that they're wanting to draw out or conclude for you. Ignore that for a minute. Let's just read it. And this is something I used to do when I would teach Sunday school to high schoolers.
Now, he doesn't teach Sunday school or anything anymore because he was too degenerate and they literally kicked him out of their co-op.
It was very simple. Let's just read. Let's just read.
That's not terrible advice. Just read something and see for yourself. Actually, that's pretty good advice. But he wasn't a very good teacher. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been asked to leave.
Because people don't just read the Bible. They get...
So he was in a part of a homeschool co-op, and he taught the Constitution to kids or something at one point. That's what I remember. All these stories of teaching is talking about the Constitution and stuff. But I assume that part of it was their religious education as well.
Snippets of it fed to them in church. Here's the thing, and we're gonna learn you about something. And today, the reason I picked Luke 15 is because we talked about it in church today.
So he's stealing his pastor's material. He's like, oh man, I need to think of something. Oh well, this guy. I spent 2 hours like listening to this guy dude talk about it. I guess I just repeat that for my like. What the fuck? He's stealing the pastor's stealing his bits. I'm not gonna go through the Bible and sign something that means something to me. I'm just gonna read whatever the pastor wrote today. It seems pretty easy. Oh my goodness.
And it's such a better sermon series that was going on at a different church that I was attending, which was venerating the shit out of
above all of
David,
this, he's
which
a
is
hack.
embarrassing because David is a garbage human by pretty much any objective account.
Wait,
All the
David is a garbage human? I don't know. Did David give his kids Coke?
Jews are like, God damn it! Or wait, they're like Yahweh, damn it, Jehovah, damn it, or whatever, and they're really mad about it. He can't do that. He can't do that to us. Raise his interest rates. Oh God. Anyways, David's kind of like a piece of shit, and everybody talks about him like he's this great dude. It seems to miss the point, in my opinion.
There you can see his like plastic blue ring there. So he's got 3 rings now. That's nice. Is that one for every wife, or who's the third one? I don't know.
But the series that we're doing at my current church is about the parables of Jesus Christ, which is interesting.
That's Jesus Christ, regular dude, not special in any way, by the way, if you've seen his previous Bible explaining.
And we started Luke 15. It's if you're not familiar, or if you are, it's the parable of the lost sheep, and then the parable of the lost.
There's a good view of the ring. Let's go back. Actually, I want to see that. What is that?
Which is interesting.
If it's got a white thing on it, then it's guaranteed swing a ring.
And we started Luke 15. It's if you're not familiar, or if you are, it's the parable of the lost.
That's legit. The ring. Wait, can I go? You can't go frame by frame like you can on YouTube. That's unfortunate.
Okay, and that's the parable of the prodigal
Let me see if I can
son.
get a better pause.
Many of you know these stories.
Gotta be quick.
The lost sheep, lost coin, the prodigal son.
It's got the white. It could be the light. It could be the light, but it definitely looks like the swinger ring, like the actual like logo swinger ring. Like I'll bring it. I close my window with it on, but like the tungsten carbide swinger ring. It looks like that. This is the swinger ring. Like it's got this white shit here to like show the thing, right? So it's got to look like this. It's gonna look like that. All right, let's watch. Do we? Oh, we'll put the chat. Oh shit! I just screwed up the thing. All right, it was after this sip, wasn't it? Nice sip. Yeah.
But the series that we're doing at my current church is about the parables of Jesus Christ.
Let's see.
Which is interesting. And we started Luke 15. It's if you're not familiar, or if you are, it's the parable of the law.
This is legit. That's got to be the ring. Surely. Do you guys see that? Like, there's no way this isn't the ring. Look at that white shit there. I'll play it back at 1.25 speed for a couple seconds. I'm like, hold on. Let's get those eagle eyes up. There's no way that's not the ring. That's what we're looking for, chat. Do you see that? The white shit? Lighting? It could be lighting, but like no, it's not lighting. It's not the lighting. If you move your finger, the lighting would change in the ring. It would go around the ring. It's the same place. There's a white mark on this ring. Like maybe it's not the swinger ring, but there is a white mark on this ring. All right. That's enough. That's enough ring that's enough ring exaggeration. What the fuck am I saying? 200 Studios says, I'm getting cult leader vibes from Nick. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is a very cultish stream, and a lot of cult leaders will actually use religious materials and they'll change it, right? They'll say like, these are the things that are holy, and these are why I am holy. I got major cult wise from this, which is why I titled this stream Cope and Cult Behavior.
Of the lost coin. But there's a third part of Luke 15 that the pastor left out today, and that's the parable of the prodigal son. Many of you know these stories. The lost sheep, lost coin, the prodigal son. It's all about having that precious thing gone and then expending energy and resources to bring
that precious thing You had it, then you lost it. Like children? No, like all my subscribers and all my stream watchers. That's what I'm really sad about.
Bring it back with joy, kind of. Not necessarily to bring it back, but when you get it back, it's like joyful. And so
I don't think it's coming back.
that's kind of how it's presented. But all of these, they usually do a twofer on the coin and the sheep. It's like the men lose sheep, the women lose money, I guess. And then they never combine it, though. They never like actually just flow automatically into the prodigal son. But I think it's really important. I think it's really important to go through Luke 15 as sort of one kind of flowing idea. Now, if you don't know, the chapters and the little verse numbers in the Bible, they don't exist. They're not real. Like, some people made those up. The original writings, which like Luke was just Luke. It's just a bunch of words. They did, well, little scribbles. Those silly backwards people hadn't invented cool letters yet. They're like...
I mean, I guess, but like, what is like translating it from like the Dead Sea Scrolls or something? Like, sure, whatever. Like, but the verses just make it a lot easier to read. You kind of read them together, though. That's the point.
Little notches and hieroglyphics or whatever. But Greeks, Luke was written in Greek. But they didn't have the numbering system. They didn't have the verses and stuff like that. So even just picking up a Bible and going, well, we're going to read Luke 15 is actually an interpretation of what was written. It's bastardizing this.
I mean, yeah, sure, it had to be translated to English, I suppose. You're not reading it in like Aramaic or whatever. So there obviously something will be lost in translation. I can imagine. But like, what's the point? Like, is there actual point to this, or it's just it could be different? Sure, whatever.
Section of the text right out of the book.
It's just rambling.
But I think it's useful here as a flowing idea. So we're going to do that. Yes, I know. Kamalalala is the new presidential candidate, sort of. For
you could have talked about that on stream instead. You could have talked about the trending news topic instead of going to a tattoo event with your two mistresses. Or one of them's a wife, or both. They're sister wives at this point. Whatever, it's fine. Why not just talk about that instead? Why do this stream?
Democrat Party, I guess, unless the Democrats don't agree to that. We're going to talk about that stuff tomorrow on stream.
This was several days ago, I think. Wait, this is the 20th. Yeah. So spoiler alert, he did not do a stream on that topic this day. Now, maybe it'll be tomorrow, but I guess this is, I don't think he's done a stream this week, actually, like on his actual YouTube channel. Am I right here? Let's take a quick look. Maybe it just wasn't suggested to me. Let me take a quick look. I feel like if he had done a stream, there would have been a bunch of Alyssa clips in my subscription feed. Oh wait, no. I was just automatically searching for Alyssa clips rather than RekietaLaw. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, I don't think he did a stream for this one. Let us see. It's not loading all right. Damn it. Sometimes I think Firefox is being really bad. My internet might have dipped out too. I may have been disconnected. We'll see. I'll just continue as if everything's okay and pray that it is. Oh no, there we go. There we go. All right. The last stream was 7 days ago. Is that right? Yeah, the last stream was 7 days ago. So no, he didn't. He was much too busy to stream about Kamala Harris being elected as the new Democratic candidate, which is, you could argue very undemocratic since you had no say in it if you're a Democrat voter.
Probably, hopefully tomorrow.
Hopefully, unless he's busy. He's got a lot of chores to do. There's a lot of kids to feed, a lot of laundry to do. YouTube is throttling Firefox. I've heard that theory before, but I don't know if it's actually true. Juice Studio with 5. Thank you very much for the support. Sometimes people justify a behavior because they feel smarter than others and therefore they are enlightened. Any behavior is justified by enlightenment. Could be the case. Let's continue.
My days are weird because it's like, even when I have time, I have to be really in the mood to stream, because if you're not in the mood, or if I'm not in the mood to stream right now, it's because I'm like sad or whatever.
Oh, dear. Now, I get what he's saying. If I'm not in a good mood, I don't want to stream because I feel like I'm not going to get a good performance. The audience isn't going to enjoy it, and it's going to reflect badly. But streaming isn't my job, right? Like, if streaming's your job, I'm sorry, truck drivers. If you're feeling sad, you can't ship those potatoes over the country. I'm sorry, tech support workers. If you're feeling sad, you don't have to go to, like, what the fuck is, I'm feeling sad today. I can't go to work. That's what he's saying. I feel sad. I can't go to work. This man, if you want to support those, now let's be real, he's got a trust fund, so he doesn't actually have to work. Oh no, I feel a bit too sad today. I can't go to work. Wow. What is my job? My job is actually content production, but not streaming. Videos content is my stuff. That is my job. I do YouTube and social media as a job. That is true. But not streaming. Streaming is the hobby. And it's a part of it. It's a part of it. It's a part of everything. Okay. Anyway, let's continue. Oh, no, wait. But I was going to say, if you want to get your kids back, surely if a drug addict gets their kids taken away, part of getting your kids back is that you're working in a stable environment and earning money so that you can provide for your family. He has to do that too. Either become a lawyer again and do a 9-to-5 and, be sad and be a lawyer, or be sad and stream. But you have to do work. Otherwise, because let's be real here. Idle hands are the devil's plaything. So what is he doing if he's sad all day? What do you do? Like, just get high and bone one of the two holes you have over there?
I don't want to get in which book is about not taking your side piece to get tattoos. Oh no, it's the activity police. He doesn't do something that I wouldn't do.
It's not that you're doing things that I wouldn't do. It's that you're doing things that you wouldn't do. You said, oh, you know what? I didn't even play the clip. Let's do a quick 40-second. I'm going to get you don't go anywhere because you're going to get the hypocrisy intro. I'm going to go get some more water. I'll be right back.
I have dealt with some manipulators in my life, dude. And one of the funniest things is trying to get them to just admit when they're manipulating.
Yeah.
They won't do it. They can't. They're incapable of saying, I did the thing. Like, well, this happened.
That's why a partnership is important. That's why you will never convince me that anything other than a monogamous heterosexual relationship is the ultimate best environment for children statistically and practically.
I also don't think you should give kids cocaine, for example.
Hypocrisy.
Just keep that in mind. I thought it was good. I didn't want to start with that clip, but I knew I had to play it at some point because it's going to be important for the things that he's going to say. So again, it's not that we're policing your behavior. It's that you are not policing your own morals or what you believe in, because that's the only one you really have to answer to is yourself and your God, right? And I guess your wife and children as well. But you said monogamy in the only stable situation for a family. Not giving your kids coke is a good one too. Okay, just remember those details as we go through this. So, yeah, make fun of the chatter that says like, "Wow, taking your ladies to get tattoos instead of working," and you're like, "Oh no, it's the tone police! Oh no, what are we doing?" Come on now, man.
All right, have fun, homie.
Hopefully, I didn't unmute. I muted it. Yeah, okay, it's fine.
Good Lord. Again, your fun judgment or whatever is based probably on a misperception of something that you've concocted in your mind, and now you can rail against it. That's fine.
I mean, I'm not sure I concocted these police reports in my mind. I'm pretty sure I read them. Now, are they all government conspiracy lies? I suppose that's not impossible. But again, to use an analogy for this, right? It's like you've been found in a room with a dead body and a smoking gun in your hand, and you're saying, I didn't do it, but I can't explain it. Yeah, it's definitely possible you didn't shoot the guy, but you're going to have a big challenge to explain this to everybody. And, you have to explain that to the government so you can get your children back and that you do stay out of prison. So it's a pretty important thing to do.
But it's always funny to watch for me because it's like watching people be...
Is it funny, though? Is it funny to see the government take away your kids and then people say, like, holy shit, your kids got taken away by the government? Is that funny to watch? I'm not sure about that. I mean, it's a dumpster fire. That's why we're watching. It's a trash fire. That is, you can't look away. It's not necessarily funny. Now, the cope is funny. The family stuff's pretty sad.
Scrambled when they find out the next piece of information. They're like, but this doesn't match up. No, this isn't. No, he can't be this way. He can't do this thing. Like that. No.
Again, it's just like straw manning his A-logs. Like at this point, we're all just like shocked at what we're seeing. We're not angry. We're just disappointed and giggling a little.
No, I had it in my brain a certain way. And it's got to be this way. Otherwise,
You know what's good for keeping your brain a certain way? Not doing drugs to the point that you're literally just boiling inside your own skull. That's a good way to keep your brain stable. Like, I've seen a lot of people in my time say that, like, you know, mushrooms are like, they rewire your brain, man. But every time they get rewired, they turn into complete fucking lunatics. Anyone else notice this? Man, the mushrooms, man, the psilocybin, man. It's just like it's got networks just like your brain, man. You're gonna rewire your brain and think a whole new way. And then inevitably their new way of thinking is just that they eat pizza and don't go to fucking work and like ruin their lives. Wow. Thank you, Micro Mushrooms. You really solved my problems there. Sugarwatt Studio for 5, big support tonight. Says, you don't get it, meme. Monogamy is the only way for others, not him. He can handle it because he's better. He understands it. Normies don't say. Yeah, I was going to say that earlier, but it's literally rules for thee, but not for me. Very well spoken.
have at it, man. Have at it.
This is just pure cope. This is just pure cope. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. You're the crazy people.
But the thing with streaming for me is like I have to be in the right mood because I spend a lot of my days like kind of really just fucking annoyed.
Holy shit, he's actually just saying it. I just spend all day being annoyed. I just spend all day coping and sneezing instead of working or getting my kids back.
Or sad or like mentally taxed.
Stop saying cope times it. Do you know the name of my channel? Do you know where you are? Oh dear. No, I'll try though. I'll try. You know, I do want to expand my lexicon a little bit.
Next. Because you deal with this shit. Life is not normal right now.
Because of your actions. You brought this. It wasn't a government conspiracy, right? As much as Barnes, Better Call Barnes, would like to suggest, the Swiss mercenary model of law governance or whatever that shit was. Oh my goodness, I couldn't. That was too funny. But these are your acts. Your life's not normal because you had everything. A trust fund, a family, a house, a wife, 5 kids, a fast car, an audience that loved you, a very lucrative career. You had it all, but you just need a little bit more. You just need a little bit more. You just had to have a taste, that extra crumb of pussy to complete your life. And then you lost it all. Classic example. Grass is always greener. Well, maybe not. Maybe not so much.
But I am planning on streaming tomorrow, so we'll get fun.
Spoiler alert, he didn't stream tomorrow.
You had fun until I started going off the rails. Well, then leave. Go away.
No, we can watch as like we're watching a dumpster fire. It's fun.
You got less and less entertaining. Bye. Why would you watch if it's not funny, not entertaining? Go. Shoo.
Why do you watch a dumpster fire? You want to see if something explodes. You're like, I probably shouldn't be watching this, but there could be a really big explosion when that garbage, like all the methane that's like percolating in the bottom of the garbage is just going to like, you just know it's about to happen. You can't look away.
Go concern yourself with something important to you. So weird. Like, I just don't understand. Like, I never understood, like, I've said.
He absolutely does understand, by the way, because like he made his first, his first streams were literally covering like the Maddox and Dick Masterson lol suit. And the only thing that Dick Masterson does his entire career is watch and make fun of Maddox. So like, if you're saying this about like people watching you, because Nick is becoming the new Maddox. Like, actually, it turns out that Nick was like, that Maddox was actually kind of did nothing wrong. Like, Maddox was right all along, but he was just quiet. He didn't tell everyone. So Maddox did make some mistakes, don't get me wrong. But like his expose on Dick was actually really interesting. I definitely recommend that. But apparently it got taken down or something. But absolutely, Nick is becoming the new Maddox in my eyes. Like the guy that you say, oh, that's the cuck. It's Mad Cucks or whatever. Like that guy. That's what's happening to Nick. He's literally a cuckold now. And thinks that it's all going great for him, but it's not. Also, 200 share for 2 says, can we please stop persecuting our leader? Exactly. Stop persecuting the leader, Ben. He can do no wrong. Unlike Jesus, Nick is actually a really good human, like above a superior human, according to Nick, right?
This 1 billion times. I don't understand why anybody watches like these live stream shows, but I do, or anyone does, because I find most of them to be wholly unentertaining.
It's a bit of a self-incrimination here.
especially other people's. Oh my God. I mean, I'm like kind of full of myself. So I think mine are good, but even mine, I'm like, why would anybody sit around watching? But some of these shows that you guys.
This is a really dangerous argument to make. When you start saying to the people, like, why are you watching? I'm not funny. I'm not interesting. I'm not entertaining. Why don't you just fuck off? People do. It always happens. It always happens. Like they're at the top of their game and they'll start saying, well, why don't you fuck off if you don't find it entertaining? And they're like, you know what? Maybe I will. Then you're down the track like, why did everyone stop watching? I don't understand. How could this happen? Why'd they leave me? I mean, we're not even watching him through his own channel. Most of us are watching through clips. I can't do that. I'm sorry. There's going to be a lot of pausing. Trust me. If you want to watch this without pausing, you can absolutely go over to Sparsely Farcical on Rumble. He clipped it from Rekieta's stream, or you could subscribe to Nick's Locals and go watch it there. But no, I'm going to pause it as much as I like. Nathan C, member for 4 months, very much. Thank you very much. Nick turned money into Coke. Jesus turned water into wine. Very true. Very true. Thanks.
Watch. Holy shit. But yeah, if you're not being entertained, fucking leave. Go away. What a weirdo. It's so strange. Like, no, you have to do the show the way I want, and you have to live the way I want, and expect, and you can't surprise me. You can't do any of that. Because if you surprise me, then what am I going to do? I'm going to drop these toothpicks and count them all at once. There's 431.
Yeah, Raymond's a good movie. A bit of an old reference, but it checks out.
431 toothpicks. I'm going to go rub my Thomas the Train.
So I guess he's insinuating that his audience is the autistics ones, instead of him just burging to his private audience right now. I mean, come on now. I mean, if Nick needs a book on human interaction, I could probably send him one. I think he could use one of those because he doesn't seem to understand how people react to his behavior. But yeah, I know a good book that can help him out on human interactions. Very helpful for people that have the Lego pieces that need to be put together, if you know what I mean.
Good God. Stop bothering yourself.
Oh, yeah, there's a train reference. I didn't even play my train whistle. Got to throw one of those.
Anyway, either take value from what I do or don't. But don't ask me to like live some way that you've misperceived on your own. Like, no, there's a moral set that I have that I don't think is living up to based on this limited subset of information that I have about him.
I mean, that's the problem. It's not really a limited subset. You were terminally online and you exposed everything about your life to the point that we can now read about it in court documents. I mean, do we not know the whole picture? Yeah, we don't see the extra 8 hours a day you spend eating Cheetos and coping and sneezing and being too sad to work. Well, you get two women that are to, like, I guess, beat you off. We don't see that part of your life, but we can infer what's happening over there.
Took a picture somewhere. This must be what it means. God, how pathetic. How just absolutely.
Yeah, it's the people saying that it's bad to give cocaine to kids. They're the pathetic ones. Interesting. Okay. Thank you, dear leader.
Absolutely absurdly sad.
Is it as sad as having your children taken away? That's the real question. Yeah, this is the biggest seed sesh I've seen in quite a while.
That is.
Masquerade is a Bible stream, by the way. The real reason he booted this up and made it followers only is that he's expecting a lot of positivity to come his way, because you do get a little bit addicted to the attention. Like if you get like a big stream, big numbers, it gives you a bit of a dopamine rush. Absolutely. And since he can't, well, I mean, maybe he is on drugs right now. We don't know. If you can't get your dopamine from chemicals, you need to get it from actually doing some shit and talking to people. Very frustrating. You can actually also do exercise. That helps too, get you a bit of dopamine there. But that's completely off the table for this man. It is summer, and he does have a heat allergy or a work allergy. Who can say which one it is?
If I've started to pull myself out of my spiral, I haven't. I'm spiraling tremendously. So go away. Come check back in a year or two.
He might be dead by then. Like, there might not be a Nick like, I hope there is. I hope he does. Obviously, I do hope he'll make it back. But the chance of it happening is like 1 in 10. Statistically, it's very unlikely. But no, it's I'm now deriving my joy from watching the spiral. Heat allergy, but can get in a hot tub. That is a bit strange.
No offense, there's never any Nick spotted out with his wife post. Maybe she doesn't want to be online. But actually, if you have been following, yeah, they found her. She was there too. Big gasp. Oh my God, it made news. That's how bored you people are.
No, it didn't make news. There was a festival that was on the news. You didn't make news, Nick. You were spotted in the news just by virtue of being there. Okay, like it's like main character syndrome. Holy shit! It made news. No, it wasn't. The title wasn't Nick Rekieta spotted at Tattoo Festival. It was there was a tattoo festival, and inside that there was a picture of you from behind. Your bald spot's showing up, by the way. Getting your snake tattoo done, and like holy shit, there's actually. Do I have the? I don't have that one. There's a really the tattoo artist is so fucking smug. He's so smug when he's doing that tattoo. It's so great. Unfortunately, I missed that one out, but should have saved some more snapshots.
Made news that we went out.
Oh, actually, like I was literally at a festival today, like a Tenjin Matsuri, and I actually made the news, but I didn't want to be on the news. So like the Japanese news always goes around with cameras, like trying to interview people, and I was trying to avoid them. But I was at the like Tenjin Matsuri is like the Osaka like summer festival. It's really cool. Like there's going to be fireworks tomorrow. There's like parades. There's people banging Japanese instruments. It's very kino if you like culture. Prove it. I'm not going to. But there was a news crew, and they're like, "Oh, can you give us a comment?" I'm like, I didn't want to do it, so I was starting to walk away. But then they caught my girlfriend, and then she started giving them a comment, and then I was like hiding, like away. And then she was like, "No, come over and give them a." I was like, "Yeah, this festival, it's really." The culturally great and everything, and they're like, yeah, but how's the weather? I'm like, okay, this is what you want me to say, right? You just want me to say it's really hot right now? They're like, yeah, Japan is so hot. It was like I hate giving interviews to Japanese TV stations, but they always ask you the same question, and they just want you to like say the soundbite for them. It's brutal. It was hot out there today though, but I was going to ask Sam actually, is she going to Tenjin Matsuri? It's fun today. Tomorrow's the big day, though. It's a 2-day festival.
We're to an activity. No, they can't go to an activity. They have to sit inside and eat cereal and count the squares on the Chex Mix like I do. Wait, weren't you the guy who was like questioning the Bible reading I was about to do? Go read it. Van Damme, I'm not about to preach.
Oh, okay. I might see you tomorrow. I'm going tomorrow. I'll probably be there from like 6 o'clock. I don't want to see the parade again. I saw that last year. It's like at 3 p.m. It's too hot. I'm gonna show up at like 6 o'clock and try and battle the crowds a bit and see the burning boats and the fireworks. So if you're there, hit me up. Go get some kakigori or something, or some karage. Alan Tanase with a $5 says, "Hail to you, sir, for being on top of this story like another man was on top of Nick's wife." That's dangerously funny. Thank you very much.
Do anything. Not a single thing. I'm going to read Luke 15 to you. And that's all.
He's going to read Luke 15. And that's all. He says after 13 minutes of seething.
I'll give you some thoughts on it. My thoughts. I'm not going to preach to you. What the fuck am I going to preach? This is the reason I never... Like, people are like, why don't you talk about the Bible more? It's like, well, because I'm not like a teacher.
Yeah, you're not a teacher anymore, but you got fired from that job.
The Bible. I'm not like a pastor. I don't have any background, and I just read it and I like think about it, which is I thought that's what we're supposed to do, but no. See, nowadays, especially with the conservative right, you're not supposed to read and think about the Bible. You're not supposed to do that. What you're supposed to do is listen to their brand of pastor tell you what the Bible says. It's like the old Catholic Church when they were scared that people would learn to read.
So yeah, this is actually a true thing. They used to do everything in Latin so that you could not read the Bible because you had to have the priests interpret the word of God for you. But now you can just go and pick up a Bible and read it anytime because they have the English version, obviously. But interestingly, there are some people that suggest that you cannot do this with the law as well. There are some lawyers out there who would suggest that you don't understand what it says in the black and white. Like you're too stupid to understand the legalese. You should just listen to me about the government conspiracies. It's true. Believe what I say. You're too stupid to do it. It's kind of an interesting little comparison, I thought there.
That's what they got now. But here we go. Do you practice it? No.
He doesn't practice religion and he doesn't practice law. Good for him.
Perfected it. I don't need to practice anymore. Do you? Do you? Sitting in judgment? It's embarrassing, man. Here we go.
Judge not lest ye be judged, sure. But the thing is, social shame actually has a very important role in society. Shaming people stops people from doing things that we consider bad. That's why shame exists, and that's why you're doing these things in secret. Like you said, like Nick, like this is one of the biggest Nick clips out there is like, I don't lie. I don't lie. That's why my story never changed. I don't lie. He was lying the entire fucking time. If it was not a shameful thing to do, why don't you just tell us what you've done? You don't tell people, you don't want people to know because it is embarrassing, because it is horrific. And you know that people will shame you and you will lose attention, you'll lose money, you'll lose clout, you'll lose your kids, right? If these things come to light, and they did. So when you say, like, yeah, okay, you shouldn't judge people, yeah, perhaps. But social shame is very important. It's a very good way to create society that we'd like to see it as. Otherwise, people just go around like being complete fucking retards all day.
Luke 15. Now the tax collectors and sinners were all gathering around to hear him. But the Pharisees and the teachers of the law muttered, "This man welcomes sinners and eats with them." Jesus told them this parable. Okay, so here's where I want to take a quick pause. My pastor pointed this out today.
Again, just stealing his pastor's material.
And he says, you know, Jesus is talking to the Pharisees and the scribes here. Like, that's the teachers of the law and the Pharisees. He's like, hey, they're the ones muttering. They're the ones complaining. Oh, by the way, if you're asking if it's okay to have threesomes, I don't know, just ask David, Solomon, or Abraham, or Isaac.
Why don't you ask Nick Rekieta when he said that threesomes, that thruples, that swinging, that cuckoldry is bad? Why don't you just ask them? I don't think I need the Bible to know that threesomes, like let me back up for a second. If you want to have a threesome, if you want to have a thruple, if you want to have a polycule, that's fine. You can do that, but don't be a hypocrite about it, and don't expose children to that. That's the important thing. How's it going, Fire Red Podcast? You can be a degenerate if you want to, but do it in a way that everyone involved is consenting. And Nick's family did not consent to these behavior. Like little kids that can't feed themselves, that can't clean themselves, that can't wash their own clothes, they did not consent to this degenerate behavior that destroyed your life and got them taken away from you. It doesn't matter if men had multiple wives in the Bible. I don't care what people did thousands of years ago. I think you can know very well that what Nick was doing was wrong. It's wrong because he destroyed his family from doing it. It's pretty self-evident. Like, how stupid do you have to be? Oh, my goodness. 200 Studio with Fiverr says, fuck it. I'm going to read the Bible. Deal with it, D-bags. Very, thank you. Much appreciated for the chance. Everybody judges people. Everybody judges people. But you aren't arguing properly. Go back to Reddit, my friend. I don't care.
For Joseph.
That's a straw man. That's
Look, I'm not saying anything, but if you want your biblical references for polygamy, dude, it's not that hard to find. It's only all of it. I don't necessarily think that has anything to do with it, but like if you want to go find it, I'm sure you can proof text your way into polygamy. So
the Bible said I could be polygamous, logs? God said it's okay to cheat on my wife. Well, actually, I mean, she could have been consenting, sure. But let me tell you, 4 adults to a bed while the kids are going hungry is not okay. Nothing makes that moral.
The thing is, Vandam's retarded, and he's going to be like, ha, see, he's advocating polygamy, which I'm not. Not at all. But it's funny because...
Don't you lead by example, though? Like, isn't that be the change that you want to be in the world? Show people that you're a virtuous person to improve society as a role model for your children? I mean, if he believes this is all fine, just come out and say it. Just come out and say, I believe in polygamy. I believe in wife swapping. I believe in cuckoldry. Just say that if you believe it to be true. Don't hide behind this facade of being just a monogamous family man if that's what you actually believe. It's the hypocrisy. That's the real worst part.
The Bible kind of like does it all throughout the Old Testament. And the New Testament doesn't ever
Very
do
true.
away
Willy Wonka
with
references.
It. We've interpreted it that way. Maybe that's the right way. I don't know. I never really thought about it. You clearly have.
You guys are going to clip me out of context, don't you dare.
So Jesus is talking to the Pharisees and the scribes. Here we go. Jesus told them this parable. Suppose one of you has 100 sheep and loses one of them. Does he not leave the 99 in the open country and go after the lost sheep until he finds it? And when he finds it, he joyfully puts it on his shoulders and goes home. Then he calls his friends and neighbors together and says, rejoice with me. I found my lost sheep. Probably kills one and eats it too. That's even funnier. I tell you that in the same way, there will be more rejoicing in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who do not need to repent. All right, let's get some basic bitch interpretation here.
That should be good. Let me hear.
Basic bitch interpretation is Jesus sitting around. He says any lost sheep returning is more valuable than 99 who never needed to return because they never left. Right? And this is good. He's speaking to the scribes and the Pharisees. And the scribes and the Pharisees are obviously sitting there going, we're the 99. We're good. We are good. We're good. And the one who gets away, like that guy, Vandam, you know all about this. That guy, oh, that guy's wandering off right there. They're the ones who need to be brought back. We're the 99. We're good. We're the flock. Right?
I'm not sure that's actually what they'll be thinking. Because there's a lot of there's a lot of self-criticism and in Christianity, right? Like, isn't that their point? That we're all sinners, or at least we were all sinners until Jesus took away the sins. But you still have to repent. You still have to accept the word of God and let Him into your heart, right? I'm not sure that he's acting like this is the first person to interpret like the story of the prodigal son. It's such an obvious one too, right? And obviously, it very much relates to his current situation. But this is like basic shit. It's like one of the first things you learn about, right? Let's see, about $10. Destroyer. Nick unironically has pissed me off in the aftermath of his arrest. He paints himself as a victim of the government and tries to gaslight us about not doing anything when he streamed what he did. Yeah, exactly. He did. He showed up with the booger sugar on his nose. You could argue maybe it was something else, but maybe it was the lighting. I don't think so. I think it's pretty obvious that that Coke stream was exactly what it appeared to be. Very funny that that is apparently in evidence. The court case might be very interesting if it's live streamed, because it'll just be like, Your Honor, I now submitted to evidence Alyssa clips, 1 of 7, or it should be like 1 of 70, I suppose. That is going to be a very fun little stream.
Flock walking around, and this is a basic interpretation. It's really an easy parable to understand. The scribes and the Pharisees get it. They do. This isn't actually the parable's meaning, in my opinion, but that's the basic interpretation. Let's go on. Parable of the lost coin. Or suppose a woman has 10 silver coins. The man must have given it to her, and loses one. Does she not light a lamp, sweep the house, and search carefully until she finds it? And my pastor today,
I mean, not if she's busy watching Star Trek.
He's like, what was on that floor? It must have been like a shiny coin that you can't find, blah, blah, blah. Dude, it would have been dirt floors, homie. They didn't have hardwood back then. And this coin would have gotten dingy and dirty immediately, shuffled up in some dust.
So this is why this story is so relatable. Like he's like, oh, everybody can understand a dirty floor, but just look at my floor. Man, I can't wait to see those photos of the actual floor. I've heard it's pretty bad. From someone that has seen it themselves, they have said it's pretty fucking bad. I am waiting with bated breath. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so relatable. Like, everyone's got a shit floor, right? Like, it's just covered in crap. Of course you lose coins down there. You could lose kids down there. They just like fall into the garbage. It's like the ball pit, but with cans and bottles of whiskey.
It probably wasn't a polished silver coin anyways. Drachmas would have been, again, they would have been tarnished if they're handled at all. These things are going to dull very quickly. Silver tarnishes. Doesn't stay pretty unless you keep it pretty. So I would think it'd actually be pretty easy to lose. Falls on a gray, dusty floor. Any dust gets kicked around, it's going to get covered up. So she has to go and sweep through. She sweeps and finds this coin, right?
Even sweeping it up in the Bible.
And when she finds it, she calls her friends and neighbors together and says, rejoice with me, I found my lost coin. In the same way, I tell you, there's rejoicing in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents. Now, very similar story, very similar message here. The one returning is better than the ones who had stayed, rejoicing wise. And this is true, right? If you lose $20 and you like reach in your jacket pocket the next winter and you're like, holy shit, $20, like you're really happy about it.
I mean, not as happy as you would have been if you'd had it originally, because like $20 next year, that's going to be worth like $15 the way the economy's going. So not necessarily, but yeah, sure. It's always fun to find money that you've lost.
Like, not like it's not the greatest day of your life, but you're disproportionately happy for finding $20. Like, hell yeah, right? Like, it's a good thing. We understand this concept pretty simply. But notice what Jesus has done. He's taken it from 100 down to 10. He's shrunk the parable's effective range now. And it's less of a one.
Is he streaming from his bathroom? No, he only does phone calls from his bathroom. This is his kitchen, I believe.
Ring off this time. It's not a wandering off. To me, this is a tarnishing. This is a tarnishing of the reputation, a dulling
Tarnished,
of the shine.
loathsome
Right?
dung eater.
First one, the sheep wanders off and sees something in the distance, and the shepherd has to go get it. This one, the woman has the coins. She drops one. It's tarnished. It's dull. It's hard to find. And then she spends time finding it, and she does. But this is a big deal. It's so.
Oh man.
The translation of
this
this,
video.
it's a drachma, which is a day's wages or whatever, in the time. And so this is 10 days. This is a fortnight's worth of pay. So this is a big amount of money. This is a tenth of probably her. People keep like an emergency fund, like 2 weeks pay or whatever, sitting around.
I mean, I'm not sure that math adds up quite like that, but that's kind of wild though. If the ancient people had more money saved in the bank account than the average American, apparently the average American has like $500 in their bank account, and if they don't get paid next week, they'll just not make bank, or they'll not make rent. That's kind of crazy if that's true. I don't know. Americans, please respond.
This is what she's losing a big chunk of. So this is an
If only she had like a trust fund, then it wouldn't matter if she lost a tenth of her drachmas.
important number for her. The one sheep out of 100 is a lot. 100 sheep would have been like, again, at the time in the sort of shepherd community, that is the wealth of the family.
I mean, I'm not certain, but I'm pretty sure the value of a sheep is more or less the same as it was back then. Like this is a real autistic nitpicking, right? Absolutely. But like, a gold coin is worth about the same as a gold coin was worth back then. But a sheep is still worth quite a lot. Like a sheep can feed you for days, weeks, maybe. I don't know. Sheeps are still pretty valuable. I don't know about that. Like, oh, the interest rate of sheeps, have they gone up? I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure a sheep is still a sheep. It's still the same amount of meat. Now, maybe there would be less sheep around in the desert or something. I don't know. But like, that's a weird thing to, like, a weird little tangent. And I know I'm nitpicking. I'm real nitpicking here. This is just popped into my mind.
Whatever material goods they have for
Actually, a sheep would be worth more. Yeah, it would be worth more back then. Absolutely.
sort of nomadic existence, tents and cooking equipment and shit like that.
Woolflation.
That's what's going to be sustaining them. They're going to be selling the wool. They're going to be selling the sheep, the livestock. They're going to have breeding stock. All of that's the totality of their wealth. So losing 1% of your wealth and finding it back is pretty big. For the woman losing.
Isn't 1% of your wealth in the past the same as 1% of your wealth today? That's how percentages work, I'm pretty sure. Is that true? Do most people live paycheck to paycheck? You gotta have that emergency fund, my friend. You need it. I don't know, like that'd be pretty scary living paycheck to paycheck. Like I have lived paycheck to paycheck before, like especially when I was putting myself through university. Like I was at the point where I was like sneaking slices of bread and spoonfuls of peanut butter from my roommates, and then putting this week's rent on a credit card sort of thing. I did live like on credit cards for a while. And for quite a while, in fact. Look, it took me a while to kind of get things getting together, but it all sort of worked out, It is a rough spot. I can definitely empathize with that. But I'd like to think that the majority of people don't live like that. Like I made some bad decisions when I was younger. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know in the chat.
10% of your savings, of your emergency backup funds, or your operating expenses or whatever. This is big stuff. Now, most of the time, the message stops here. Then you get your basic understanding. Well, the one that's lost is really important, blah, blah, blah. And I guarantee you they do this. I guarantee you the judgmental assholes, even in the chat here, are thinking the same thing. Well, I'm the 99, I'm the 9 coins, or whatever. You aren't, though. And that's the real message. This is why Jesus spoke in parables a lot of times, because
very funny.
You're always the one.
Very
you're
funny.
always the special one. That's God telling you you're retarded. Like you're the little downsy that wandered off from the rest of the sheep, or you're the coin that fell into the cracks, like between the couches. And I hate to break that to you, but you're always the one. The Pharisees were always the one as well. They never saw it. I link this up to the times where Jesus tells his disciples, he's like, you guys are blessed because you understand.
Sorry, this is not related to Nick, but Biffrin says, I became a father pretty young, didn't get into college until I was in my 30s. That's very base of you to put yourself through college after becoming a dad and supporting through a family. That's very something to be proud of. That's what my dad did, actually. My dad put himself through. Well, no, what he did is he left high school to join the Navy, and afford for himself because his parents were pretty old and they couldn't really support him as much. And then he met my mother, and we moved from Australia to New Zealand. And then in his it would have been his 30s too, he started going to night school and putting himself through, like, we were a poor family. Like, we actually did live in a trailer park at one point for quite a while. It was like 6 months we were living. We were living in basically the worst part of New Zealand. Like, it was a lower hut trailer park by the Griffin's, like, Tim Tam factory, or not Tim Tam's factory. It's like a Shrewsbury factory or something. Me and my brother, to entertain ourselves, would sneak onto a golf course and like try and like scavenge lost golf balls and like sell them back to the place. That's another story entirely. Then we moved into Wainuiomata, which is the worst part of New Zealand. Maybe not the actual worst part, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. New Zealand people in chat can make fun of me for that. But yeah, my dad found a way to put himself through night school, and then he eventually worked his way up to a manager, and we eventually, things started working out for us. This explains a lot. Oh man, you guys are mean. Come on. And here's what it is. Everyone has their own set of circumstances, their own challenges. But you got to do your best. You got to do your best.
When I talk, you understand what I mean, but others don't. They don't understand what I'm saying, and they won't.
Nobody understands what you're saying because it's just rambling. No, it wasn't the trailer park. I wasn't called a goober at the trailer park. That was when I was in university and I got the unicycle and was running around at night. That was when I was in my 20s at that point. So I was out on my own.
You're going to keep talking. You're going to keep trying. They're not going to get it. He's talking about the Pharisees and the scribes. It's because of their own haughtiness and pride. It prevents them from getting the simplicity of the message. Now, if you want to get really into it, let's get out of theology and into some biblicism. I don't know if you know this about the Pharisees, but the Pharisees are actually a group of rabbis. Some people think of them as like a
super Jews,
almost like a sect of rabbis with a set of concrete beliefs and
it's pretty close.
Like a train of thought, like a discipleship. It's kind of like that. But the real big thing about the Pharisees is they were away from the temple, which is why Jesus is running into them all the time. Jesus is possibly a Pharisee, like of the cast of.
I mean, it's probably not that he was running into them all the time, like in the desert or some shit. It's probably because they are the authorities of the religious texts, and then as him having these new ideas and this new approach to the Word of God, is that he would have to come about them for a storytelling perspective, because he has to challenge them with their ideas. He can't challenge them with their ideas if he's just not next to them, right? That's probably the actual reason. Now, if you want to say, well, it was a storytelling device, or it was the aim of God to bring him into this way where he could like talk to these people that had the wrong idea, whatever it is, whatever you want to believe, that's fine. That's probably their real reason. It's not just that they were outside and just nothing to do. Like, there was no Coke back then. They couldn't just do lines of Coke and just complain about Kiwi farms. So they had to be out in the sun, and then just running into Jesus. I'm not sure that's the case.
Rabbis. He's possibly a Pharisee. They were itinerant. They went around. They were not at the temple. They were out preaching in the rural communities. The Jews would go back to temple once a year and they do their sacrifices and shit. But rabbis, like the rabbinical class, would largely stay at the temples, the Sadducees and whatever the other fuckers were. But the Pharisees, they would actually go out away from the temple. And that's why, again, Jesus is speaking away from the temple and the Pharisees keep showing up. Well, that's where they are. So the whole thing is, like, Pharisees get shit on a lot, but think about who Jesus is talking to here in just a literal sense. They're the ones who left. Like, they leave the temple. The flock, the 99, they're actually there at the temple. The Pharisee goes off and he goes out as a rabbi and he's preaching. And this is where I think the prodigal son story, which follows, becomes more and more interesting as you realize that Jesus is not talking to the crowd here. He's not talking to his disciples. He's talking to the scribes and the Pharisees. He's responding to their grumbling. Because suddenly, they're not getting it. They're not the 99. They're not the 9 coins. They're not the flock. They're away. You're away from the temple. You're squandering. You're tarnished.
I can't believe he's made it this far without making a gay joke or something. This is actually like this is good. He's just talking for an extended period of time, and it's not too cringe. I'm impressed.
Lost. You're lost. Here you are. He's eating with sinners. How dare he?
He's going for a new audience. That's not what he's doing. He's trying to condense his audience down to only those people that are his adamant followers and supporters. There's no like growth in doing a private followers only stream. This is just to bring in the inner guard and closer and keep them to you. It can be effective strategy, by the way, if you have enough like really good supporters, like really like high dollar supporters, you really don't need a lot of people to kind of keep you going full time. Like look at someone like Darkside Phil. Doesn't get a lot of viewers, but he always seems to meet the best goal, right? Yeah, someone even said in chat, he's DSPing. It's kind of similar. That's why this is a follower on his stream. And like, again, all those followers that are already in this stream, those followers are asking for an even more private follower group on locals, or even more concentrated group of supporters that won't criticize him or anyone else in the chat, because a lot of people were getting really upset at the idea that other people outside of their little group could see the the things that they were saying. They thought it was a private, exclusive place that they could be sued for showing people. Hey, look, I'm not going to pretend I have a lot of religious knowledge, Patty. I said that at the beginning of the stream. I'm more commenting on the Cope more so than the Christ. Although I do think that Jesus was a pretty good dude. Probably not just a regular guy like Rekieta said.
Next, this goes straight into the prodigal son. So Jesus continued. This one's a little bit longer, forgive me. That's what he said. There was a man who had two sons. The younger one said to his father, "Father, give me my share of the estate." So he divided his property between them. Not long after that, the younger son got together all he had, set off for a distant country, and there squandered his wealth in wild living. After he spent everything, there was a severe famine in that whole country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to a citizen of the country who sent him to his fields to feed the pigs. Very, very fucking degrading for a Jew to be feeding pigs. It's the Pharisees that are judging you. Yeah, the Pharisees. Yes. I'm okay with being judged by...
That's basically what's happening here, yes.
Let's see. Feed the pigs. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. So you're looking at pea pods, probably soybean pods, little legumes, all mixed up with some other garbage, and probably like dead pig meat and all sorts of gross shit. When he came to his senses, he said, "How many of my father's hired men have food to spare? And here I am starving to death. I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired men.' So he got up and went to his father." Now, this one's a little different, right? This one, they're coming back. They're going back to the father, whereas the shepherd has to go get the sheep. The woman has to find the coin. The son's going back.
Wait a second. Hold on.
So he got...
Where is this comment? And chat. Shit escaped me for a second. Where is it? It's a good one. It's a good one. Shit, I can't find it. Where is it? Oh, somebody said he wants to save Aaron. Okay, he wants to save April's soul from eternal damnation. He can't even save her from getting a court charge, right? Oh, that's the thing I forgot to mention, actually. Sorry. I apologize to you. So in April's charging, I forgot to mention this. You'll notice that the PO box right there, April's PO box is actually, interestingly, the same PO box as A1 RekietaLaw. Oh, that's fascinating. That's a little interesting little detail there. If this wasn't posted on Kiwi Farms, she might not have even known that she had a court summons because she's living in the Barbie mansion next door. So if Nick can't save her, Nick can't even save April from getting charged in this case. How's he going to save her soul from damnation? I forgot to mention that. It's a pretty fun little detail, isn't that? Very keen-eyed farmers picked that up. I can't take credit for it as much as I would like. But that's a fun one there, isn't it? A little fun one.
Up and went to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him. Filled with compassion for him, he ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. Okay? The son said to him, "Father, I've sinned against heaven and against you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son." But the father said to his servants, "Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet.
Was it a black swinger ring, though? That's the real question.
The fattened calf and kill it." Poor calf's like, "Oh, damn. Let's have a feast and celebrate, for this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He's lost and is found, so they began to celebrate." We're going to pause there for a second. This is pretty interesting because, again, this is not the shepherd going out and finding the sheep. This is not the woman locating the coin on the dusty floor. This is the son coming back. And
wow, with 1,000 votes, the chat says that 82% believe that he's on the source. 8% say no, and 8% like the stream. Liking the stream does help. 600 likes. Holy shit, I didn't even check. That's all, like, shit. That's like 80% of the people watching like the stream. Much appreciated, guys. We hit the goal. Thank you very much. Much love you. Love you.
We've also narrowed, we've gone from 100 to 10 to 2. 2 sons, one who stayed and the one who left. And this is a big deal. He's asking for his inheritance. He's saying, you know, I'm not waiting for you to die. I want my money now. I want to go party, live it up. Cool. Cool dude, right? He goes and runs off and he's awesome. But
I mean, it's a little bit of a Freudian slip, right? Like this guy wants to cash in everything, sell it, you know, sell the farm, whatever, go party it up, just live in hedonism forever. That's a cool dude. Little bit of a slip there. It's like, oh shit, I wish I could do that again. I've already cashed it in. They found out.
then his awesome life runs out because he squanders it all. And he has to come back in shame.
Cope sip. Oh no, those arms aren't looking too good. Holy shit. Look at those track marks. No, I still don't believe these are track marks. I think they're just scratches from being a tweaker or something. That's a skinny arm. That's a skinny arm. Although, ironically, this is the ideal of attractiveness in Japan. If you can see like veins in your arm in Japan, women do like that. It's very strange over here. But it is Asia. They do eat bugs and shit. I don't know. But I love that. He's like, that cope sip is just perfect. Like he went out, spent everything, then he had to return in shame. Glug, 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 glug. If only it was whiskey. Oh no. We gotta replay that. That is just too good. That is just so good. This is a great clip.
He's awesome. But then his awesome life runs out because he squanders it all.
He squanders it all.
And he has to come back in shame.
Wow, so relatable.
What's interesting here is
so
this
relatable.
story is the one story where
I mean, that's the
you're
point,
not the
right?
one.
But okay.
You're the two. You're both brothers in this story. You're both the brother who leaves and squanders things. You're also the brother who stays and is bitter and resentful. And we're going to get to him in a minute. But this one comes back. This one comes back to the father on his own. He says, I'm suffering and look, I'm coming back humble. Let me be humble. And the father's like, of course not. Like you're back. This is great. This is cause for celebration. You're dead. Now you're alive to me. And this is Jesus's invitation to the Pharisees. I mean, again, going with the imagery that we know, they left the temple. They left God. The reason the temple is because God was there in the fucking tabernacle. Like God was present.
I mean, isn't God everywhere though? Isn't that the point of being like omnipotent and omnipresent and everything? Like God is literally everywhere. Yeah, of course, the temple is his home, sure, but he's everywhere. You can go out into the desert and pray. That's why he is God. The temple is just a place you can congregate and share your belief with others. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a religious scholar, but I'm pretty sure God can see you wherever you are, right? He's everyone and everything and everywhere. He sees all. That's why he's God.
In the temple. It's where he lived and hung out. Like the Jews. Okay. I think we're back.
All right. Rumble being a piece of shit. Unsurprisingly.
Fucking locals. That's all I'm going to say. All right.
Get Joe on. I can't get Joe on because he's going to go on for 30 minutes talking about dark matter and light, speed of light and Einstein being like,
again, we go
I don't know. I can't, it drives me nuts. I can't
remembering
speak
that
to
the
Joe
Jews
about
there
the speed of light
understand this.
or religion.
The Pharisees take what God has given them. They take it and they go away and they squander it on becoming local celebrity, on becoming the keepers of the word, the scribes, the writers of the law in Jewish culture being paramount enough. They make a pilgrimage to the temple every year to make their appropriate sacrifices and fulfill the law.
That's an interesting detail. I didn't even think about this. I'm not sure. Like, so when Nick returned from his big vacation to the courthouse, he did come back on the Rumble studio, which was very weird because it's a piece of trash. And also he hot mic'd it so that everyone could hear that April was still in the house because he's looking for his ethics complaint. But he was using Rumble Studio, which is, like I said, very bad. But Rumble Studio does have a built-in ad player. So let's say you've got 1,000 people watching, you play an ad, you get a set amount of money, which is that's a neat thing to have if it works. It didn't work though, not very well. I think he ended up shilling some snake oil, but what product does he sell that isn't snake oil? Bulldoze and Field of Greens. Actually, I don't know. Field of Greens is maybe fine. I don't know. But just eat your fucking vegetables. It's not fucking hard. But yes, MM says, notice how Nick has to use Rumble Studio for ad revenue. Nick has no contract. It's an interesting theory. Maybe true. We don't know. But something to think about for sure. I didn't even consider that. That's an interesting point. But definitely he's using Rumble Studio for the money. So, it's a terrible experience. And he passes the he passes the savings on to you, the viewer, I suppose. But he still asks for donations.
Jesus is talking right to them. He never stops. I mean, it literally says Jesus continued, but he's talking to the scribes and the Pharisees. He's not talking to everybody around. Now,
Is that the only
everybody
legit
can draw
person?
from the product.
Look, I don't want to disparage Field of Greens. If they're a good company, that's fine. I just think it's pretty easy to eat vegetables because you shouldn't have to drink fucking vegetables. Like, it's not just put some broccoli in some boiling water. It's that easy. It seemed like a silly product to me based on the price, but I don't know. Maybe it actually does what it's advertised to do. But I remember he shilled this like stupid fucking. It was like a miniature chainsaw that couldn't even cut through a plastic bottle. Like, he's like, let me cut through this plastic bottle on stream. Can't even cut through it. Wow, great product. Yeah, thank you for shilling your audience out for that shit.
Son, of course, everybody can do that. But he's telling the scribes and the Pharisees, it's you guys are out here. You left God. He's back there. You can go back. You go back to him. He'll welcome you back in. You'll be back. But you're disconnected. You're walking away and you're making it about you. It's kind of an interesting twist for me on the story. I never thought about it this way. Okay. Back to the story. Meanwhile, the older son was in the field. When he came near the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called one of the servants to ask him what was going on. Servant says, your brother has come and your father has killed the fattened calf because he has him back safe and sound. The older brother became angry and refused to go in. So his father went out and pleaded with him. But he answered his father, look, all these years I've been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never gave me even a young goat so I can celebrate with my friends. That's gross, if you think about it in the wrong way.
There you go. Couldn't go too far before getting a sex joke in there. That's probably the longest stretch he's done in a while. 10 minutes. 10 minutes and no gay or sex joke, but had to fit it in somewhere.
But when this son of yours who squandered your property, son of yours, right? Not his brother, son of yours who squandered your property with prostitutes comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him. And the father says, my son, you're always with me and everything I have is yours, but we had to celebrate and be glad because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. And of course, the Pharisees see themselves as the faithful son who stayed, even though missing the fact they're bitter little bitches. They're sitting there whining about like, oh, he's out with prostitutes. He's doing bad stuff. He drank a wine cooler. That would have been the one thing the father would never forgive him. Like, whoa. No fuzzy navels, buddy. You're out of here. That's gay. But this book, this chapter of Luke is interesting because it's never framed to me as talking to the Pharisees and scribes. Never. It's always framed as talking to like you and me, the regular people who are out. Jesus out there.
I want to skip forward because I like this part of the conversation isn't that interesting, but there's a bit of cope afterwards, as I recall. I think the last like 10 minutes is kind of interesting. I'm not sure when he actually stops talking about the Bible, because I'm not too interested in his takes on the Bible. I'm more interested in the seeding.
Preaching to a crowd.
But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
It's not. I mean,
see if there's any nuggets in
there
it.
Talking to the priests.
We're pretty close to it. They're only.
It's you guys. You guys are the one wandering
this.
away. You guys are the lost coin. You had this thing of value, and you're gone. And then finally, you wandered off. And if you come back, God's still there.
So, like, that is one thing to think about, though. Like, obviously, he is correct in saying that you never think that you are the one in the fault, right? Like, you are not the one that is missing. And it's so easy to relate this to his own situation. And you would think that he's mentioning this story specifically because it completely relates to what he's doing. My question to the chat is, do you think that he is so self-involved that in this moment he does not think he has any guilt of himself? It seems like he's just perfectly talking about himself, but also how it relates to the chat as well. Like, it relates to everybody. But does Nick in this moment feel like he is the guilty one, or does he still believe that he has done no wrong? Because there's been a lot of cope here. It's been like saying, like, well, threesomes aren't that bad. Like, look at the Bible. Well, drugs aren't too bad. Like, imagine you'd come drinking wine coolers or some shit. I don't know. We can't look in his head. We don't know. But it's something to think about.
Father's still there waiting for you. It's joyous. But look at what he says. He's like, it's when you repent, everybody rejoices. When you repent, you repent. To the Pharisees, to the scribes, to the haughty ones. And man, haughtiness is something that is so pervasive in American Christianity. Lady Law, does this end with Nick being the prodigal son? Oh no, I'm not walking back. Lady Law, what are you talking about?
I have to think that he's joking here. But there's an element of truth in this. There's an element of truth in this. That he doesn't want to apologize. He doesn't want to walk anything back. He did no wrong. It is you, A-logs, who did all the bad things.
No, that's the thing. We're all the one. Everybody in every story is the one, except for the last story where you're the two. You're both.
Power of one, power of two, power of many.
Both, really. You're both and you're both the son that walks away, and you're the son that faithfully stays, but is bitter and embittered by the actions of the father. Because of course we are.
But the thing is, he can't even say like I am in the wrong. He can't even say that of course I am the. He's like we are. There's no accountability here. At least not what I can see.
Of course we are. When we watch people who don't get justice one way or another, we scream and rage at the injustice of it. No, I did this and this and this. Why does this guy get the good thing, or why didn't they get the bad thing? We're all that same person, but we're also the person who takes the blessings that we have, we go and we fuck it up. No, fuck it up. But if you think you're not fucking it up, you're probably fucking it up way harder than the people around you.
Oh man, the Patrick Tomlinson memes are too good. Very, very classy chat.
And that's the message in all of them. Jesus is speaking to the people who think they're not fucking up. And he's giving them direct imagery. You are. You're the ones who left. You left the temple. You fell out of the hands of the woman. You walked away from your father. You asked him for your wealth in advance. And then you left. But you can always come back. It's a message of hope, obviously. But one thing I never have seen anyone talk about is that all three of these parables, first of all, it's rapid fire. There's nothing between them. There's no transition. There's no change of audience.
I mean, there's a change of audience for you. It's not the audience you want, but it's the audience you deserve.
It's just to the Pharisees and scribes. That's who he's talking to. But they never hear it. They never hear it. And if you guys go to your church and listen to them, they're all there. They're all there. They're all sitting there waiting. They're the ones who whisper and judge. And they never hear it for themselves either. They'll say it. But in their heads, they're always the 99 sheep who stayed by the shepherd, right? They're never the curious one who walked away. But yeah, look, I'm not here to, again, I'm always hesitant to talk Bible because these are just my thoughts on it. They're just my thoughts on it. I don't have any credential to it. I didn't do like some deep study. I just read it. I've been in a church denomination that says, just read it. Like you just read it. You don't need special training. You don't need any of this. Vantage says, how do you fucking know, you hypocrite? Because you are the perfect example. It's by your words, man.
It is you, A-log chat. It is your logs. I mean, it is your fault. So Renee says, did you follow the Chris Tyson dropout of Mr. B for his pedo shit? Yeah, actually in my Discord today, I did a vote on what topics people want to talk about tonight. And Nick won. So I was actually thinking about talking about Chris tonight, but instead I, of course, did what my lovely Discord members said. You can join the Discord by becoming a YouTube member, and then I'll put the private link out in the YouTube community tab if you were so interested in that. It helps out support the channel, helps support me, helps make these streams a reality, and it gets to have your say in what we talk about. Maybe we'll talk about the Chris Tyson stuff tomorrow. It depends. I think there's going to be more details coming out because as like this sort of story breaks, more and more people come out of the woodwork and say like, hey, this guy also groomed me too, or, you know, allegedly, whatever. Or like more Snapchat screenshots come out. You know, I assume some of them will be fake, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty fucking bad. There was a very interesting one that I saw that there was one dude who said that he was working for Mr. Beast and he actually had like a NDA contract and he was at the Mr. Beast lot and he's saying like the Chris Tyson stuff was the tip of the iceberg and that Mr. Beast knew all along. I'm not sure if I believe that just yet. Like, we'll have to see. Personally, I thought it was pretty obvious that Chris was a bad dude because I'd seen the screenshot of him with the Shadman lolicon picture on his wall a long time ago. So I always knew about this. I thought it was actually common knowledge. But like, what can you do, right? We might go over the information. It depends if I think that there's enough to talk about that hasn't been said already. We'll see. Tilly T with £10. Hey, how you meme? Can you do a quick catch up for me? pretty pleased. Love late in and love to you all. Thank you, Tilly. Haven't seen you in a while, but welcome back. Basically, quick recap of the stream. The beginning part of the stream is that April, who was initially dropped of all charges, has been recharged as of a couple days ago. And now she is being summoned to court on August 28th as her first appearance. She has her PO box set to Nick Rekieta's legal office, or Nick's PO box, whatever, which would suggest that he is her legal counsel, although she couldn't really be defended by Nick because that would be a conflict of interest, surely. Aaron claims that he knew all along, which would suggest that either he's lying, which is probably true, but also that he was snitching to the police and they told him that they were going to go after April and not go after him, something like that. Although Aaron is on the witness list, so it's not impossible he'll still be charged as well. I mean, not that those two things correlate, but it's entirely possible they could bring him back. Apart from that, Nick has also said that Jesus was a regular dude, a sinner, and just a regular man and not the son of God, which is quite blasphemous, even though I'm not a not a religious expert. And we've been now going over 37 minutes of seething and talking about the prodigal son. That's about the whole stream. You can flip back and watch the replay. We're pretty close to the end. We've got another 10 minutes. I think this is when he reads the chats and has a bit of a spur gap, but we'll see. Let's continue. Thank you and welcome back, Tilly T.
I don't sit and judge you. I don't give a shit at all.
This is absolute lying. Oh, look, he's making the perfect white person face, like the. Well, I need that picture of that dog. You know, the dog that's doing the white person face. Where's that papa? Dog, white person. It's so perfect. Please let me find this image. I need to have this saved. Here it is. We found it. This is the face. Corporate needs you to determine the difference between these two pictures. There you go. Oh yeah, and also he's wearing a black ring that is a swinger's ring, probably. No, so Nick likes to portray this public persona that he doesn't care, that he's all chill. Like if you don't want to talk to him, he's like, "That's fine, man. Just go your way, no hate." But in private, he literally seethes to his private group chats, and if you don't agree with him, he tells you to go kill yourself, like he did tell to Yellow Flash when the DMs got leaked from the Flashcast. And literally Nick was like, if you don't trust me, if you don't believe me, if you think that I was dangerous to my kids, then you should go fucking rope yourself with Yellow Flash. Pretty angry in private, but, you got to try and exude a public persona of you not being mad. Because if you're mad on the internet, you lose. And that's just the way he sees the world. And also another 10 pounds says, thank you, man. Thank you very much. I'm going to use that to buy some takoyaki octopus dumplings tomorrow at Tenjin Matsuri, I think. Maybe some taiyaki too. I do like taiyaki. It's like a pancake with red bean paste and cream inside. It's delicious. Red bean paste doesn't sound delicious, but trust me, it's nice. It's like a savory sweet beans. It's really good. It's a Japanese thing.
I don't know what you do. I don't want to know what you do. Deal with it on your own. But in this stream, man, you have been so quick to just rail on me about things you think are going on. It's embarrassing.
Like if you've someone in the chat that's trying to annoy you, just don't respond to them. That's what gets them mad. Like the fact that he's reading and respond to them is just giving power to the trolls. There's one dude, not even paid chats.
Peace to you, my friend.
Is it like red bean ice cream? Almost certainly it is.
Special insight or anything. I encourage people to pick up the Bible and read it, and just read it.
I would actually encourage you, if you do like the Bible or religion, to pick up the Bible and read it, because that's the only place you're going to get the real word of God, not from this man.
Just read it and see what happens. Doesn't mean you're going to find the greatest truth. It doesn't mean you're going to be like more religious or anything. Just read it. Then put yourself in a different perspective.
Like the red beans, they're not like kidney beans. Red beans is like an Asian thing. Hold on, let me show you this. Red beans. Let me show you some taiyaki. I'll show you what taiyaki is. It's like a fish pancake. It's like this. It's like this. It's really delicious. It's like crispy. It's like a filled waffle or a filled pancake. I like it with cream and red bean paste. If it's just red bean paste, that's a little bit heavy, but it mixed perfectly with what is it, like custard and red beans is so good together. You can also get this like with chocolate and custard and stuff, but I think the red beans is the best one for taiyaki. That's my preference. There's a lot of good shit in festivals. That's the best part about Japanese festivals, is they have all these shrines. Oh, it's not shrines, all these shops. They're food shrines though for me. that have all these different things. I really like the senbei egg one too. It's delicious. Oh my goodness, it's so good. Let me see if I can find a picture for that while I listen to Nick.
It's a critical approach to literature. Try
Was it
that
tamago
out.
senbei? That's what I'm
Summon
thinking
the mind of a modern feminist and read it. I use the Bible for my own agenda. No.
Absolutely, he does. He's starting his own cult. I guarantee it, with the Bible and it's for his own agenda. I did find a picture of that tamago senbei. Apparently, this does not exist in Tokyo. I don't know about that. There's probably no Tokyo people in chat, but if you're a Kansai Chad, then you will know. It's like a senbei, which is like a rice cracker on the bottom, and then they put the fried egg on top of it, mayonnaise, takoyaki sauce, and like these little it's almost like Rice Krispies. I think it's like puffed rice, like literally puffed rice. It's so good. And it's like, it only costs like a couple dollars too. And it's just like, you just carry this around and eat it. And it's in summer. It's delicious. Oh my goodness. And I have to do a food stream sometime.
I don't justify anything in my life with the Bible. Not a single thing. But keep telling me what I do. It's fine. Keep definitely not proving out that judgment thing or the haughtiness thing that you've been doing. It's definitely not. So is Destiny the one or the 99? And should we rejoice in his cancellation? Destiny's the one. We're all the one. All of us are the one. All the one, man. Of course. The Bible's whole message is really simple. It's you need help, but guess what? The help was done. The work's done. It was done for you. There's hope.
I mean, Jesus did die on the cross to absolve us of our sins, but you still have to live a good life. You still have to let God into your heart and follow him. Like you can't just be a child abuser and just like, well, that's all good here. No, that's not. And don't get me wrong. There was like some idiot that was in the comments the other day. It was like, neglect isn't abuse. It absolutely is fucking abuse. If you think that neglect isn't abuse, and that's the best case scenario, like best case scenario, he was abusing, he was neglecting his children, which is tantamount to abuse. Because like, let's say you neglect someone enough that you don't feed them for 3 days and they die. Maybe it'd be more than 3 days. I don't know. Whatever. However long it is. That is absolutely fucking abuse. Now, I don't know how the cocaine test results came up in his kids. Maybe there is some other crazy explanation. That's possible. That's the most salacious, the most insane thing that we know about this case so far. But at the very best, let's say the coke and the 9-year-old is all fake. Okay, that's all fake. At the very best, he invited the government into his house with his degenerate behavior to the point where his children got taken away from their mother, father, the people that should, in theory, love them the most. They neglected them so much that the community started to say that they were hungry, they were smelly. They couldn't even provide the basic necessities to them. That's the best case scenario. There is no Nick is innocent. Maybe he gets away from the court case, right? Like maybe he gets out on a technicality and it's completely, not guilty. There is no innocent here for Nick. At the very best case scenario, he was a degenerate swinger, cuckold, going against everything that he ever said, and neglected his children and provided dangerous situations for them. That's the very best case scenario. Now, you can come back from that. You can, work your entire life to make it up to your kids. Absolutely. But at the worst case scenario, he is actually one of the worst pieces of shit that I've ever seen on. Because giving drugs to kids, his own children, what a piece of shit if that turns out to be the case. Now, I still am holding on to a little bit of hope that there's something wrong with this test and that it's not like it seems. But everyone that I've talked to about this would suggest that this test is very, very accurate. Like one of his kids was on antidepressant, sorry. They were on I forget what it's called, but it's basically Ritalin. It's the chemical name of Ritalin. I was thinking, well, maybe that could come past as a cocaine positive test or something. Apparently that never happens. And again, they can just retest. The things. And these are from ingested in the system. Like I thought maybe it's got to be a Kayla's hair or something. That's the only way that this makes sense. But then again, why wouldn't they just retest the kids? And if that was the case, if the case was that they tested the kid, false positive, retested, clean, why wouldn't Nick just say, okay, this came out clean. It's a mistake. How could that possibly hurt his case? And people in the chat saying he can't talk about it, it's going to hurt his case. How does saying my kid was not on cocaine hurt his case? I ask you. How?
Like it could have been
there you go. It was methyl Phenidate or something. Yeah, I think that was it.
Really bad. You got this good stuff. They call it the good news for a reason. You got this good stuff. You're gonna fail. You're gonna screw up all over the place, tons and tons of times. You're gonna be okay. You just did, you massive hypocrite. I didn't. You really want me to, but I didn't, buddy. I haven't justified anything. You don't even know what I'm talking about. You have your own perspective.
I'm not sure he knows what he's talking about.
On like what I'm doing or whatever, and you've decided that it's bad. Cool. Go for it.
Yeah, I have decided it's bad. I have decided that neglecting your children is bad. I have decided that swinging and cuckoldry is bad if you're trying to portray yourself as a family man. If you want to do that degenerate shit and not involve children, go nuts. Go nuts. It's nothing wrong with that. You know, live your own life. But I have decided that giving cocaine to children is bad. I have decided that leaving your kids hungry and dirty and filthy is bad. I have decided that. Now, is it all a government conspiracy? Maybe there's a 1% chance of that. Very unlikely. If it comes out, I'll apologize. And I'll even do we're so sorry next stream. How about that? That'll be the deal we want to do.
You're the one sitting in judgment. I'm not. I don't care what you do. Ever. Go live. But with that, guys, I just wanted to share that little reading with you. And sorry for the one retarded kid in the back who really wanted attention that I got to talk to. But like it's amazing.
If there's one, if you're so seething at this one I don't know who this one person was in the chat that was making him seethe so much, but that person's an actual hero. If it's one person in chat that's making you seethe, just ignore them. You don't have to read them. It wasn't me. I'm not a local subscriber. I don't know who it was. But just ignore them. If it doesn't affect you, don't react to it. It's that fucking simple. Like, really. Oh no, these pauses are very uncharitable. Hey, Charlie T with another teneroos, says Meme, agree with you, but we need to know the true details of the test if hit on coke. I agree, absolutely. I want to see the results. And fortunately, it looks like we will find out soon enough. August is the first appearance, I believe. And hopefully we'll get the body cam footage before then, but you never know. It's the speed of government, guys. I can't have any control on it. But the money has been raised and paid for by the Kiwi Farms, and Null, Josh Ramoon, should be the one that can tell you about that. Hopefully it'll be soon, though.
Because he's sitting there, and it's the perfect demonstration of the fucking parable.
Barnes is why Nick got into prostitutes. Can you tell me the deepest lore on this? I need to hear some.
Calm down.
You need to back me up.
Settle down.
Back up some details on this one.
Settle down.
That's a.
And
Barnes is pretty dumb with his Swiss mercenary style of lawfare, but you'd have to tell me a bit more about that.
I just can't. But yeah, my thing is not like don't take my reading for it. Like, take my reading if you want and think about it. That's cool. That's all I'd ever ask. But pick up the book and read it. Just pick up the book and read it. Not the whole thing.
So my problem with Barnes, it's not that he defends losers. It's that he's a digital ambulance chaser. He always attaches himself to these big profile cases, and they inevitably just tell him to like fuck off. And he just seems to damage everything he's attached to. He kind of like tries to use it as like, he tries to shill for it with like previous cases he's been kicked off as well. He's like, well, I was defending the Covington kids. The Covington kids literally told him in public, on Twitter, like, hey, stop pretending you're attached to this case. You are not. You got kicked off of Rittenhouse. You got kicked off of Wesley Snipes. You got kicked off of all these things. And like, he just starts to, like, what he does, it's a very easy pattern to notice. If something big profile case happens, and he did this with Nick as well, he starts very vocally defending them in public and then disparaging anyone that goes against the narrative, which is what he's doing with like Legal Mindset and Sean and everyone else, like Josh, the Kiwi Farms, everyone like that. And then he tries to like, ingratiate himself into the person that is going through this big, dramatic affair that he can kind of get more attention from. Inevitably, he gets kicked off because he's not very useful. And he may actually be opening himself up to some ethical violations by the things he's been saying about Kiwi Farms. Now, I'm not sure if that'll actually materialize, but he's very close to defamation on a lot of things, especially what he said about it. Fellow people that you'd assume would be his friends, but because they didn't get in line, because they didn't bunker down in the Baldo bunker, he started attacking them because that's just what he does. He's a weirdo. He's a bit of a weirdo. What happened to Attorney Tom? I don't know. I don't know.
That sucks. But read it in chunks. Don't read little verses. Christian, like modern American Christians, lots of little verses and memories and blah, 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 blah. About like, oh, well, I remember this verse. So often they're out of context. Just read a chunk of it. Read a chapter.
I will say one thing, though. Everyone does deserve legal representation. So Barnes, oh wait, no, sorry, not this one. Barnes says that he'll defend you even if you beat your kids. Everyone deserves proper legal defense. I know that that's a bit of that is just the case. Everyone deserves an even turn at the legal table, right? Even the worst people in the world deserve a proper legal defense. And hopefully they get what they deserve. And sometimes they get off in technicalities. Sometimes things like that happen, right? But they still deserve a proper defense, the proper day in court. That's the way that America works.
Read a whole book sometimes. You can read, there's books like Titus, Philemon, Esther. These books take you.
But you can defend a piece of shit without being a retard yourself. That's the problem with Barnes, is that he doesn't seem to know the difference there. Tilly T with another £10. Holy shit! Big support coming from Tilly T tonight. Best thing I ever did was get my son to sports. No drink, no drugs. Like, duh. My kid is very amazeballs, and so his kids. Oh, that's wonderful. Good for you. What sport did you get him into, Tilly?
15 minutes to read. Read the whole thing. Tons of it. Okay. And just read it. Read it.
You can also like chats now. That's like
movie
new.
in your mind.
I didn't notice this. It's kind of neat. I think I saw that before, but I keep forgetting about it. Wait, how do I get? There we go. Look at that. You can like people's comments. That's kind of cool. Huh.
It's fun to do, and you gain wisdom. And look, church is great. I really enjoy going to church.
This is no. You don't enjoy going to church. I don't believe that for a fucking second. Because you keep walking out of, like, your pastor said you would walk out of church like several times because it's too boring. I enjoy going, like, I don't believe this for a fucking second. I don't think he enjoys anything that, except for staying in his den or driving his Mustang. I think that's the only thing he enjoys. There's no way. Pressing X to doubt. Also, if you do join as a YouTube member, you do get access to these custom emojis like the X to doubt. Much appreciated. Let's continue.
You can't feel him stroking your hair, whispering Pharisee. What are you talking about? I really enjoy going to church, and I like the church that we've been going to lately a lot. But it's always limited.
Probably because this new church doesn't know who he is, and they don't know the deep lore about him. That's why he enjoys it, because there's no people reporting his children for being smelly and hungry.
They're always limited because churches have typically an avenue this broad.
We also got the wood chipper emoji.
The range of interpretation has to be within this avenue.
We can send all those Chris's from Mr. Beast.
Otherwise, people won't listen because they don't like being challenged on their faith. They don't like being challenged about God and having their ideas be radically different. If you need evidence of that, just look at the Jews when Jesus shows up. Like, they can't deal with it. Read the Bible, extremist arc has begun. But see, like, they can't challenge too far outside of what they've got. That's
no,
on
but
you,
do you have any factorial evidence to back this up? Pictorial evidence or something? Is Nick's new church actually online? There's no way. I don't believe that. That is just some headcanon fiction, whatever. I don't believe that. That is too funny. If he's attending Zoom church or whatever, then that is really funny. I need someone to prove that before I can talk about it. That is very funny if true. Big if true, in fact. I mean, it's easy enough to believe, but I like to think that he still does go to the house of God, right?
That's on you.
He said something about online.
Go out and read the fucking book.
I want to believe it. But you have to show me some evidence first.
So, for instance, if Nick is saying read the Bible, y'all go ahead. I'll pass. Perfect. Van Dam, what about marriage? Oh, you probably don't want to read the Bible about marriage. Probably not your. I don't think it's going to fit into your idea what a biblical marriage is if you actually read up on it.
Why don't you tell me about your biblical marriage, Nick? Of all the things that Nick has said, he keeps saying he's happily married to his wife. How does it even mean shit? What is happily married with an extra woman in the relationship? How does that work? How is that a marriage? What does marriage mean if you just fuck anyone you want to, if you swing around? What does it mean? What is the sanctity of marriage? What is that to you? If not staying monogamous with one woman, right? What is it? Oh my gosh. What's the point of marriage? What's the point of? I just don't get it. Like, how could you say this? These are another uncharitable pause, but it does look like the dog again. Oh wait, that's the delicious food that I'll eat tomorrow. There we go. A little bit. This dog seems more alert. He's more ready and able to go.
Do they like their ideas of marriage being challenged? The Jews? I bet moving towards monogamy was not very popular. Vandam, are you divorced?
You know that. Maybe I shouldn't say this. Let's keep this. Let's keep my comment I was about to say out of this stream. It was about to be about the chosen people, but I'll leave it for another time.
Divorced? Remarried?
Are you? like what is that? Smug face. Like, are you married? Like, you say you're married, but why? I mean, you got 3 rings on your fingers now. What does that mean?
How about your parents? They divorced and remarried? Anything like that? Careful. Careful. You sit in judgment and someone will just read the Bible to you. You gotta calm down there, homie. Are you good? You gotta calm down. Like, it's not your job.
The funny thing is this is actually true, because Nick literally said he was going to the double spaces on the. He was going to put the double spaces on his nutsack, right? Like for the Baldo, it's got like the rings. He said he was going to go up to 2 rings. Tilly says, shut down the trolls, please. If people aren't breaking the rules, I tend to not ban them on my chat. You can ban them. You can mute them or like suppress them yourself. It should be able to just go like this and then just remove somebody, so you don't have to see them. If they're not breaking the rules, they're not spamming, and they're not doing terms of service stuff, then I tend to not suppress them. I like to keep the chat that way. Just ignore them. It doesn't, like what they say, it doesn't matter. They just want to get your attention because they have none of it in their own lives. Just block all the people. You can block them yourself.
Again, I don't police yours. I don't care.
Oh, was that the end of the stream, or is Rumble fucking up?
You're boring, I can tell, but that's fine. But that being said,
look, if I start blocking everyone for little things, then I'll just have a chat like Nick's chat, where it's just like the Baldo washers. That's not what I want. There is a little, you need to have a little bit of criticism in your life. It helps you out. A little bit of shame, a little bit of people saying you're not the best thing in the world is good for you sometimes.
Story study for today. La la la, I'm raging. I know, I can tell.
I noticed you, Patty. There you go.
A raging faggot? I'm just kidding. I love you. You're the prodigal son who's come back to me, the cult leader. I'm the Jesus or whatever. You don't fuck with the Jesus. It's like, oh my God. I can't wait. Like once you do whatever you're going to do and like they go and they find your notebooks or whatever, and I get to like see the fan fiction that you've written about my life on your like wide ruled paper or whatever in chalk. Like it's going to be funny. It's going to be disturbing because like, why are you doing this? You're a liar who's using the Bible. Well, good. I'm with every priest and pastor.
Surely this is an absolute cope though. No chat member. It is you who is insane is going to be writing a manifesto, and it's not me. I'm not the crazy one here. I'm not the crazy one. Just because my kids got taken away by the government, just because I'm in this weird polygamous situation, it is you, chat member, who is wrong. I can't wait to read about your story. Like, nope. Why would we ever read about this random person that's criticizing him in chat when we can just read about Nick every other week when every other doc drops? It's like clockwork at this point.
Existence. Perfect. We're all the same. Now I'm not using the Bible at all. Again, I've never tried to justify a single thing that I do. I just live, and it's makes people like you very angry. Gunham Enthusiast says, awesome story, Nick. Always love the Bible. Does it have anything to say about giving cocaine to 9-year-olds asking for a friend? No, it doesn't. Shockingly, the Bible's pretty silent on it.
All right, this is about the end. There's only a minute left. I'm not sure if this is Rumble or the stream recording of this, but I think we're at an end. Hold on a second. Is it just?
I love
okay.
it.
No, there's a little bit left here. A little bit left in the bottle.
I love that that's the meta. That's very funny, that you guys think that's one, what happened, or two, that's funny at all. But, again, that's on you. Remember that whole thing I was saying about fan fictions and being judgmental or whatever? Yeah. None of that happened. But you can write the stories in your book, I guess, and read.
All right. I think that's just where it ends. Whew. There we go. There we go. We got through it, chat. I know that was painful at some points, but we did it. It's over. It's ogre. We can go home now. So we might be talking about Chris tomorrow night. Thank you for watching. You can still like the stream if you're watching on replay. You can always leave a comment as well. And we will be back with more of the Rekieta story as it develops. I don't want to just talk about it every day, but when documents come out, that kind of have to talk about it. Maybe he'll get his life together, and I will time this guy out just for fun, just to annoy him. I'm not going to ban him, but I'm going to time him out for 10 minutes. There we go. Just to make him seethe. There we go. Timed out. Deal with it. So you can, you know what? I'll stream for 9 more minutes, and then as soon as his timeout's about to run out, then we'll end the stream. Just so you can sit in the cut cage. Because he is in the Baldo bunker. Unfortunate. All right, guys. But yeah, let me see if there's anyone else that's streaming right now. Is there anyone else you guys recommend? Let me see. Be Catholic. Law and Crime. Is this happening? No, I don't think. Jeff is streaming. Oh, Jeff. Yeah, I sent it. I guess your law tube audience, right? What the Hales? Lynette, third ex parte hearing, and John Cook arrested. All right. Why not? Why not? We'll send you over to Jeff's stream. Legal Vices. Make sure you said hi to him for me, like his stream. I would appreciate that. And until next time, we will just add this to the thing. Redirect. And there we go. I will add a new members only invite link to the Discord. If you're a new member for this stream and you want to join the Discord, go over to the community tab in 3 minutes and there'll be a link there. You can join us there for all updates, topic suggestions, and you can submit things. If you want to see any shows in the future about various topics, you can DM me on Discord, email, or Twitter. And until then, peace out, guys. Have a nice night and stay safe out there. And don't give your kids Coke.